It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circle Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. It was a tale of two halves for the Titans yesterday as they fall 34-26 and drop to 3-13 on the season, up 20-10. And the Titans holding the Saints to just 92 total yards at the half. The Saints then stormed back, outscoring the Titans 24-6. And gained 331 total yards in the second half. Cam Ward threw for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ward now is over 3,000 passing yards for the season, which marks a franchise record for a Titans rookie. On the defensive side of the ball, Jeffrey Simmons registered his 10th sack of the season, which is the first time that he's been able to get double-digit sacks. In other NFL news, a fun Sunday night football game last night as the 49ers outlast the Bears 42-38. Christian McCaffrey had 181 total yards on the ground and a touchdown, and Brock Purdy found the end zone 5 different times, 3 through the air and 2 on the ground. The 49ers improved to 12-4 on the season, and the Patriots destroyed the Jets 42-10 yesterday. Drake May threw for 5 touchdown passes, and with the Bills' 13-12 loss to the Eagles on Sunday, the Patriots locked up the AFC East title for the first time since 2019. For all your foundation repair and waterproof needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning on this Monday in Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome in. We are back in studio, ready to roll for the next 4 hours. Ramona Will on your radios, your smart devices, your 104.5 The Zone app. And as always, the number is 615-737-1045. We're going to remind you a lot that today's Monday. It's kind of one of those weeks where it feels like the world is governed by the same rules that you are governed by when you're in the airport. There's no sense of time. You could have a beverage of the adult variety, like whenever you want to. Family members just kind of walk in and out of your home. You're like, oh, you're still here. It's the Monday between Christmas and New Year's. We're just going to keep reminding you throughout the week what day it is. 615-737-1045 on a Reaction Monday with Ramon Foster. Producer Justin Hawkins. I'm Will Bowling. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Welcome back. Good morning.
Welcome back. Thank you, Will. Merry Christmas again. Happy New Year. All the formalities that we must say. And you're 100% correct. The inaccuracies of what day it is, where you should be at. Do I need to be on the schedule? Is it time to start the diet? Is it time to start the workouts? Everything's above board right now. Like we're just tossing it up in the air right now.
Yeah,
Will.
You're just kind of waiting a couple more days to change your life with resolutions because the calendar is what motivates us to do things of that nature. How was your Christmas?
It was solid, man. It was real good. My wife got me one of these new wallets, man. Pull the money out real quick. One of these Ridge wallets.
Oh, yeah. Those are popular.
Really popular. I stick it on the back of my phone or whatever. But here's the issue. So we got access cards to get into this building and to the parking lot. Well, this has a shield on it that doesn't allow the access card to go through like it would on my wallet. So I got to take my cards out and use that. And I was just like, you know what? I might go back to my old wallet, but I like this one, though. It just inconveniences me just a little bit. And I don't have one of those, what do you call those little pull strap bands?
Lanyards?
No, not a lanyard. It's the one that like retracts. Retractable lanyard, I guess is what it is.
Retractable
I think
lanyard?
J-Hawk got one where you tie it around your belt.
I don't
the retractable thing. I don't
have one.
You do have. See, I knew Hawk. There it is, right there, the string thing. And I was like, I don't want one of those. Then I'll forget it at home, and just a lot of everything else. And
just always keep it in your car. Well, you don't always drive the same thing.
I didn't want to say it.
I'll say it. You're not going to say it. I'll say it for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I don't always drive the same car. I don't always drive the same car, so I'll forget it in there. I thought about that, and I said,
you played 11 years at the NFL to be able to earn the right to do and say things like that.
You're
stand
right.
on it.
I'm going to
say it with your chest.
You know what? We're close
you
now.
You don't always drive the same car.
I always drive the same car, man. Yes. But what I'm getting at is I love this wallet. I just got to decide if I want to take the cards out or not. I got the new iPhone, finally.
Oh, nice.
I got that. I was super excited. This wasn't a big gift year for me, which I'm totally okay with. And I prefer it that way because I get a chance to see my kids do their thing. My oldest is 17. It was, one more Christmas in the house with us.
Wow.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. And I'm like under 10 days from 40. So, yeah, I got a lot going on, man.
A lot going on.
I will say, this Christmas, I hated the weather. I know we're going to talk sports in a minute. We got enough time to talk about all the things that happened yesterday.
We do.
I hated the weather. I'm talking about absolutely hated it. And there's a lot of people that enjoyed it. But I will say, it allowed me to cook the best prime rib I've ever cooked in my life.
What was different about it?
One, I had to speed up because I mistimed it. So I cooked it at like 265 for like 2 hours. And I had my thermometer in. It finally hit like 110. I was like, man, we got to go. It's time to go eat. I'd already pressed the time. We're supposed to be eating at 5. I started pressing more at 6 o'clock. We were out. Okay.
That's all right. It's worth it.
And I had my grill going too because everybody don't eat prime rib. And I did steaks too. So I had the green egg going. And I was like, screw it. I took the prime rib from the Traeger and just set it on the fire and just let it sear on both sides. I got it up to temp, man.
That sounds good.
Oh, it was. I got it off the grill, seared it on both sides, man. Let it get up to, I think it was like 125. It touched 130 real quick. Took it off, let it rest. Well, that thing was phenomenal. I know it was supposed to be like slow and steady on the prime rib.
You got a new way to cook it now. Worked out.
I don't know if I'm going back to the slow and steady way is what I'm telling you.
I like it.
All in all, everybody was satisfied, man. No crazy gifts this year. Me and my wife both was just like, you know what? We gift all year long, so let's not do gifts. And we didn't. I usually surprise her, and I didn't this year, which was
good for you.
Good on me this time. So,
love it.
Good. What, yours solid?
Yeah, great.
All right,
family good. Good time.
Yeah. That's what we had.
Right back to work yesterday.
Yeah.
Saints 34, Titans 26, a tale of two halves in Nissan Stadium. Saints generated 92 total yards, 4 first downs, and 0 offensive touchdowns at halftime. This game was 20-10. The Saints then ended the game with 331 second half yards, 423 yards, 14 second half first downs, and 34 total points. Ramon, what changed from the first half to the second half? The Titans felt like they had this one.
Man, the run game wasn't there anymore. The threat of it being, I thought, present was going to play a huge part in it. And also, I think pressure. I think New Orleans coming out that second half, scoring as quick as they did, put pressure on the Titans to be able to continue to score, and they couldn't. I honestly looked at it yesterday and like there's a lack of maturity offensively for this team that did not show up. And I don't mean those guys are immature. You're just trying to find, whether you're Bo Hardegree, Coach Holtz, or Coach McCoy, trying to find yourself in a position, how do we continue to put on more steam? How do we continue to add to the fire? And I don't think there was a level of maturity for that, too. And plus the guys were getting after Cam, I thought solid enough. It wasn't a crazy get after Cam day, but what I realized is yesterday, the Saints were allowing him to drift, but they stayed in their zones and played the sideline, not lose guys often, man.
And they wanted him to drift to the left side also, where he wasn't as accurate throwing across his body.
Was not. And it's not him. It's a combination of everybody that was a part of it, too. Plus unlucky knee downs on fourth down situation.
Man, what a play that would have been. We're talking about one of the greatest Houdini acts of the season. One of the best throws of the season, and his knees just barely down right before the 2-minute warning.
So I went to the game yesterday, and I'm watching it. I'm sitting there with my advisor yesterday, and we were like, okay, first down, 2-minute warning. And I see the Saints players come out on the field pointing in the other direction. I'm like, Ben, did something happen? What went on?
Yeah.
Nobody in the stadium, I don't think, to my knowledge, knew in the moment.
Right.
One of the weirdest successions of plays I think I've seen in a very long time, because they had to go back before the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, because then they made it 2:04 left because the clock would have stopped on the knee being down, a change of possession. So then you took the 2-minute TV timeout and then they didn't take a TV timeout at 2 minutes. It was weird.
It was weird.
It was kind of an odd situation. Did it feel like the Titans abandoned the run game too much in the second half to you?
I did think so. I think that quick strike coming out of halftime by the Saints, I think kind of pressed them a little bit. And that's what I mean. But, like, I didn't think there was enough offensive maturity to handle
patient.
that. Yes.
Yeah, they weren't patient with the game plan.
Look at the other games that they've won. Like, you felt like they stayed the course. Like, there was no need to press and be over the top about it. Honestly, the way the Titans just blitzed them, just played the first half, I was up there thinking to myself, well, I think the Saints are trying to tank for a better draft pick, is what I was thinking. Like,
and
that's how it looked.
They're one of the teams that truly is playing better and has their quarterback.
But that's the way it looked in the first half compared to what they looked like in the second half. It was weird flow, man. And again, the guys up front, I thought pressed until they possibly couldn't anymore.
Which
the
side
running
of the
game, offensive line.
Yeah.
There wasn't much push, I feel like, in the second half than it was in the first, but it also felt like there was more flow in the first half than it was. It was immature is the way I look at the offensive side of the ball.
Strangely enough, the run game, and I had the same thought as you looking back at the stats last night. It felt like in the first half they were able to run a lot more effectively and on schedule.
Yeah.
In reality, they ran better in the second half than they did in the first. They just weren't able to do so as consistently and for the entire second half. In the first half, the Titans carried it 17 times for 49 yards at 2.9 yards per carry. In the second half, 11 carries for 59 yards at 5.4 yards per carry. I thought a couple things happened. I thought that they did abandon the run game quickly, partly out of necessity and partly because of the late game situation that they were in. It just felt like this offense kind of reverted back to weeks 1 through 9. And Ramon, Cam Ward makes some incredible backyard football plays, and he certainly did in this game. It felt to me like he may have flown a little too close to the sun. And I thought that he started to come off of progressions a bit quickly. As he was pressured more in this game and almost kind of got obsessed with the big highlight play. Did it feel that way to you?
It did, yes. And we've talked about that. And we're going to compare him to a lot of other younger players in his class, either before him or even after him at this point. And watching, I was saying, I know he's got a year in the league on him, but like watching Caleb, watching Brock Purdy even.
Talking about Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy, like, we were talking, I was talking to my good friend that came over last night, and he was just like, we were watching Caleb play football, Caleb Williams. It was just like, what's crazy is you love a quarterback for staying on schedule. You love a quarterback for doing what you asked him to. It's like, what makes Patrick Mahomes special is what he does in between the trickeration that he has. Like, all he does is throw the dump off, throw to the sideline, throw the quick outs, and then when you need him to be a wizard, he does that. Being the magician every single play, Will, is not long lasting because teams adjust at that point, or you guys just can't get as open as they once would, too. So, yes, I side with you there, most definitely, and seeing him kind of get more loose and do what he wants to do in those moments.
Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Wide open for your phone calls all morning, 615-737-1045. When we come back, we'll take a look at Titans and Saints more in depth, what Tyler Shuck did well, what the Titans defense didn't do well. That's next.
It's Ramon Foster, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. It's that time of the year where nobody likes dealing with those issues at all, good people, whether it be plumbing, HVAC, or any electrical or emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you or if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. When you call Hiller, like I do, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly, man, and the price you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill when you get them. They'll bring the tablet out, itemize everything they've done in your your house, show you the service costs and everything up front, no issues whatsoever. Hiller's been in business for over 35 years, and they are family owned and operated. Their techs, man, every time they come to my house, they've been very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And they're all background and drug screen, too. Here's the cool part. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of that tech. A lot of people love safety, and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting time. Their motto has been, happy you'll be, the service is free, and they absolutely mean it. Listen, to learn more about Hiller or to book with them, visit their website at happyhiller.com.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, our number one on Reaction Monday. 615-737-1045. Our only guest on Mondays is you during the football season for your chance to react to what we saw yesterday as the Titans fall to 3-13 with a 34-26 loss to the New Orleans Saints, squandering a 10-point halftime lead and a big chance to break what is now the worst streak the Titans have going, Ramon. And I know CBS put this on the broadcast yesterday, and you were in the stadium, so you likely did not see it.
I did not see this.
It is something we've discussed because the streak continues without back-to-back wins.
Yep.
The Titans have now gone 57 straight games, and it's unfortunately going to be 58 because they will not have the chance to win back-to-back games, obviously, in Week 18 against Jacksonville. 57 straight games without consecutive wins. According to the broadcast yesterday with CBS, that is the fourth longest streak in NFL history.
It's not a good one, man. It just shows you the type of, I guess, inconsistency they've had as a franchise with coaching, quarterback, play, defense, change. There's just been a lot of that, though, too. So you hadn't had the opportunity, man, to get a standard that you want to have as a football team moving forward. Like, the messaging has just been so erratic from one regime to the next that the level of play hadn't been there. You go from Vrabel not getting his job done, and then, of course, Coach Callahan also just not having time on the job to just figure this thing out, too. And the thing that I dislike about it more than anything is the guys that have to live through this, too. I don't think anybody signs up, and I say this often, nobody signs up for this game to be bad at it. So the instruction and leadership that they've gotten as of late just hasn't allowed them to understand how to push through and make a win. More than I think yesterday was one of those types of days, Will, where you have to go make a win, man. Yes, it's getting tight. And then, of course, unfortunate situations happen time and time again. Nobody understood or nobody knew that Chase, what's his name? Chase Young was going to strip Cam for a fumble, strip sack recovery or a touchdown. It's just been a lot of those types of things that happen to teams like the Titans in these type of moments that they're in this era that they're in right now.
Yeah, so to that point then, what did the Saints do in the second half? What adjustments did you see them make in order to take this win away from the Titans?
They settled down. I thought they were more attacking than the Titans were. I thought if you look at the way the first half is kind of set up, the Saints went more off what the game plan the Titans have been doing the last few weeks, being able to run the football, and they were. And then you couple that with play action. Then, of course, Cam moves side to side with the ball in his hand and kind of create a little bit. I thought that creativity left in that second half. When the Saints got the opportunity to go down and score and got it within 3, I thought that was a unique situation where if you're the Titans, you don't have to go over and beyond yourself, and I feel like they started to. They couldn't connect down the field. Chose to throw the football a little bit more. And then you saw them, to your point, not necessarily abandon the run game, but it wasn't the first calling card. You go from throwing the football more on first and second down instead of just doing exactly what you did in the first half. There was no reason, in my personal opinion, to change the game plan and what they were successful. Now, here's the other part of it, though, too. The Titans was very beneficial of short field, bad punts that happened, turnovers that, negativity that the defense also provided. And you also got to, paint a picture, too. They also lose another corner. Jalen Armour-Davis goes down in the game, too.
The Achilles injury that does not look good.
Does not look good. So
just from what we saw on the field.
The Saints' ability to take advantage of corners and the defense also when the rush didn't get there. That was the other most confusing thing I thought. The way the defense started off getting after Tyler Shuck, it looked like it was going to be a brutal day for him. He was going to have to get in the ice bath. And he didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent for 4 quarters.
Where was the defense in this part of it, too, to me,
Yeah, I think the Saints showed again that if you can protect your quarterback against the Titans' front 7 and give that quarterback time, you can have success.
So to that point right there, Chris Olave also showed up.
He did. In the same way that Devontae Adams showed up for the Rams earlier in the season.
Yep.
Nico Collins in pivotal moments for the Texans. Jackson Smith and Jigba a few weeks ago with the Seattle Seahawks. That's their guy. And we talked about it last week. He gets his 100th catch of the season on one of the many explosive plays the Saints created. Tyler Shuck had 5 passes for 30-plus yards in this game, including a 60-yard dime to Chris Olave on that double move. When you've got a guy like that, that you can just force the football to when things are not going your way in the football game, and you just win one-on-one matchups, it makes this sport that is so complicated so much easier. So much easier. And Chris Olave was that yesterday for the Saints, as he has been all season.
Yes, he was. And you saw it kind of trickle down. You saw it kind of open up a little bit too. And again, the Titans are shorthanded in a lot of different spots on this team. And then the other side too, like good fortune had to play a part in this too, Will, and it didn't. And what I mean by good fortune is either you need more touchdown and field goals. Like if you look at the 14 points that were scored in the second half, in the first half, one was a great pass to, who was it? Chig on a kind of like a
there were a couple good
route.
passes.
But the one in the end zone, like Cam just kind of dotted that one. He kind of freed up. Who was it to? It was to Alec.
Yeah, Alec Manor
that was a great concept. Broke him down. Defense was in the coverage that they just kind of lost Alec in that situation. But when you look at also who, to your point, that's got a Chris Olave, well, you got Chig. Chig's ability to score that touchdown, I thought, was super unique. If Chig doesn't break that tackle, spin out of it, and race to the end zone, do you have 14 points in in that second quarter the same way? Like guys making plays, to your point. There needs to be more of that. I think the entire Titans fan base understands that, look, this team is deficient with A-list talent or guys that can just catch a slant and go yard, guys that can go and high point the football without having to be schemed up, guys that can take over games the way those wide receivers you mentioned a second ago. And, of course, if the run game isn't running for you, isn't working for you the same way it was in the second half, who's going to be the guy to step up? And as of late, it's been nobody, or you're trying to hope that Cam is going to scramble and find somebody down the field. It's just not enough. It's very famished.
Let's go to the phones where you can join us. 615-737-1045. Chris is in Hermitage first up.
Hey, guys. Appreciate y'all taking my call as always. I was initially calling in with a question about the record that Taylor Sargent mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast yesterday with the Titans setting, rookie start record with 60 when that game kicked off. And, he was nice enough to answer my question whenever I called in, but I'll recontextualize it. With that many rookies getting that many starts this year, do you think it's like, if we're looking for silver linings as the season closes out, do you think it's like maybe a testament to the Titans brass and coaches that are left that they were able to get that much production out of rookies this year? Or do you think that's more of a indictment like, hey, like the veterans we brought in didn't get it done and you need to readdress that, or a little bit of both? I just wanted to see what y'all thought. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Chris.
That's a fascinating question.
I mean, it's however you want to look at it.
It really is.
I think there is an argument on both sides, right? You feel really good about this rookie class, yet also if they're starting that many games, it shows that they were kind of thrust right into action, maybe in some contexts where you would have preferred them to sit and wait a little bit to have a big role in this team.
I will give you this, like having Chimere Dike be a representative to this team as a rookie to the Pro Bowl, I think is huge.
Yeah, and that's not an indictment as much for him as on anyone else. He went out and earned the ability to be more of a playmaker on offense.
And I heard somebody, it was this morning, two pros and a cup of Joe was on before us. They called him Chimere, is what they called him also. And they kind of acknowledged, like, yeah, he made the Pro Bowl, but, like, the Titans had a lot of kickoff returns this year, too. But here's to your point. He made the most of those and scored touchdowns off of those and became a dynamic threat, like, to where teams aren't kicking to him the same anymore. I love that for Chimere for a lot of reasons, because I'll start with this one. I don't know what his role is going to be as a wide receiver for this team moving forward. So our guys just called in a second ago to answer your question. It's awesome that these coaches were able to engage these rookies and have them grow and play more and somewhat solidify their careers as young guys. The issue that I always have with that is going from year one to year two, how many of these guys will, one, take that next step and become a better pro, two, be the type of guy that the coaches that are coming in are going to want to play also. It's that part of it for me. When you look at some guys have a good year one or a solid one. Can they stack that with a new coaching staff and become part of this foundation, in 2026 moving forward?
615-737-1045, open for your reaction on what you saw in Titans and Saints yesterday. The one play that changed the game, Ramon, you referenced was Chase Young's. And, man, it ultimately is the difference in the game when you're able to score a defensive touchdown like this, tilt the game back in your favor. Of course, in a game that ends with an 8-point deficit, it was obviously one of the big differences in the game. Game high 8 quarterback pressures for Chase Young, 1.5 sacks, forced penalties, had 4 tackles, tackle for loss, the forced fumble touchdown. Take me through that play and what could have been done differently. Do you chalk that up as just, hey, Chase Young made a play, tip your cap? Do you want Cam to move up in the pocket differently? I know it's a rollout play, so it's a little bit of a unique circumstance. Take me through what you saw there.
I thought it was a perfect setup to a rush that they had tried to. I think more teams are going to try to do on Cam. If I can remember correctly, Cam got flushed out. Chase is just running from behind. He runs a loop around Cam. Cam sees a defender in front of him, not allowing him to get outside. Cam, of course, tried to scramble and go the other way, and there's Chase Young continuing to run the circle or the half circle to get to him. And at that point, it was over. Him stripping the football out, I think, is because Cam's not wanting to take the sack and kind of try to find an outlet to throw to. And at that point, you got to tuck the football and not be reckless with it in the hand. My old coach used to say, Coach Tomlin, you carry our hopes and dreams with you when you lose or keep that football. And it's so true. That 8-point swing that you mentioned was jump-started by that because I thought they were dead in the water. I legitimately was at that game watching it and said, yeah, they're playing for draft position right now because there's been a conversation across a lot of the networks and social media that teams are trying to position specifically, Giants and Raiders and others of that conversation. Heck, I thought the Browns were until they smacked Pittsburgh yesterday, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm getting at is this. That play right there is the way I think teams are going to try to get Cam. You got to have somebody front side and another one hustling, and they pretty much just boxed him in. And, Chase Young just made a heck of a strip sack at that point. I honestly thought they were going to review it and thought Cam was down, but the ball was already loose at that point. Cam, I ain't going to say he's not reckless with the football. He's always, in my personal opinion, trying to find where to go next with the football, even in sack moments. Like that play he almost threw to Tony Pollard, that's the stuff that you say right there is going to make you special. But what if he had a Will Levis moment exactly the same?
Well, and it feels like you're going to always have to live with some of those types of plays if you're going to enjoy him stiff-arming an edge rusher into the dirt and throwing it away.
Yes.
Or breaking away and finding Ellick for a first down like he did on the first play of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
When we talk about being a Josh Allen / Mahomes comp and all of the positives that come with that, that's great. It's going to be fun. Yesterday was a fun football game. I think the Titans have graduated to being a thorn in good team side and playing fun football. It's not always good, but it is certainly more relevant within the context of the entire game. And they are in striking distance more now. Take that for what it's worth. But you're also going to have to live with some of these moments where Cam is going to try to do too much, or Cam is going to fumble it because he's always trying to keep it in a throwing position to get rid of it and try to make a play. You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, you do.
The goal for Cam is going to be more consistency to raise the floor of the bottom 10% of plays that he has on any given week, any given game. And that still is the struggle for him. How do we make the bad plays a little bit better while still keeping the really good that's happening in the top 10% of the things you're doing on any given Sunday?
And so on that, it's funny, it's on my iPad right now. On that particular play, the sack fumble touchdown, is you see them rushing inside Granderson, the defensive end, rushing inside on JC. He was, and it was, I think that's the way Cam is going to be rushed moving forward, is because he's going to run a circle around in the pocket and try to create. Now, here's the other part of it, though, too. It's times where he hit guys down the field, and he pointed to, I think it was Ellick again, told Ellick to move sideways and hit him on the first down. Like, you have to live that life with Cam, too. But for teams that got good rushers and a defense that's good in the secondary, and the Saints got some good players back there, those guys can stick a whole lot longer, and that's when Cam's going to get in trouble. And again, Coach Mack mentioned this stuff often. Like, they cage rushed Cam, they flushed him out, made him go up in the pocket and around, and Chase Young did what Chase Young has always done: hustle, get to the football, and Cam have that ball out in one hand, and he straight up just took it from him.
Well, and two, you should be able to run the ball better between the tackles when teams start doing that to you.
Yes. Absolutely, playing too high.
And the Titans weren't able to capitalize enough on their lead in the run game. 17 carries for 49 yards in the first half, 2.9 yards per carry, 11 for 59 in the second half. But it never felt like they had that big play aside from a couple of scramble drill Cam throws. They never had that big designed run play to really pop as a result of teams having to more cage rush and get outside against them.
No doubt.
They didn't take advantage of it.
And that's what I meant a little bit earlier when I said, like, the offense got to have a little bit more maturity about itself, though, too, is knowing that, look, eventually that's going to pop. I feel like the last 2-3 weeks before this game, they've stayed consistent in saying, oh, yeah, we're going to chip away, and eventually they get those big explosive runs, or they do enough to where it's dynamic along the side. Like, to me, the issue that I've had with these offensive play callers is the inconsistency of using Tajay Spears.
Okay.
It's made me question Tajay, I think, unfairly. It's made me wonder, like, why are y'all just making a big deal about Tajay?
I don't think it's unfair.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we making a big deal about Tajay or having a yin and a yang with him and Pollard when what we saw last week did not show up at all on Sunday against the Saints at, like,
6 carries for 2 yards and a touchdown. Or not a touchdown, sorry. I was looking at the wrong column. 6 carries for 2 yards. Titans did not have a rushing touchdown.
Where's that guy? Where's that guy in the offense? Like, getting him out on the edge. Like, if Tony wasn't working, like, and I know it's probably, I saw in our YouTube, somebody said, like, he didn't get 100 yards. Like, so what? Like, that's the maturity part of it for me, Will, is like, I'm all for guys getting theirs, but it's all about the dub, too. And I felt like last week, like, Tajay had the ability to really push that offense specifically over the hump. It gave it a new wrinkle to me.
He had 7 touches for 1 yard in this game.
I hate that for Tajay because, like I said, it made me question, okay,
sure,
is Tajay a workhorse?
Is that more of an indictment on him or the way he was used or both yesterday?
I think the way he's used.
Okay.
I think he's capable because he showed us that last week.
Yeah, right. So how do you use him differently if you're offensive coordinator Ramon Foster?
Has been mature enough to say this is Tajay's right now. We can't get anything going in the run game. Tony, I love you, but we're going to go a little bit more outside and create because that's clearly what Cam is capable of doing now. Somebody will call in or somebody will make a comment and be like, well, he tried to throw it to Tajay, but his knee was down. Like, to me, that's what Tajay provides even before you get to that point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I disagree in terms of the run game and letting him have it because Tony Pollard has a string of 3 straight 100-yard games.
I wasn't even talking about the run game. My bad. I should have clarified that. I wasn't talking about Tajay in the run game. I'm talking about him outside the tackles.
I agree. I think 2 checkdowns in the fourth quarter to Tajay Spears isn't enough getting him the ball in the pass game. I'm willing to hear you out on that.
Yeah.
When we come back, more of your phone calls. We'll go to Eric and Darren coming up next. Your reaction to Titans at Saints, 615-737-1045 after this. Hey, it's Will Bowling for my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. For over 50 years, Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. As a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations, they are deeply rooted in this community. I can speak firsthand for the family type of experience you get when you walk in the doors at Brentwood Jewelry and are able to deal with them. From Salem service in Special Forces to his sons serving as local firefighters, the Amamali family is dedicated to giving back in a time that is imperative to support local. Shop Brentwood Jewelry. If you're looking for that gift, yeah, it's okay. It's after Christmas, but you might be looking to celebrate New Year's. Might be looking for that engagement ring. That's where I went for mine this time last year. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Shop local at Brentwood Jewelry. Head online, learn more about them at BrentwoodJewelry.com. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Online at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Ramona Will, Monday morning edition, wrapping up hour number 1. Titans fall to 3-13, a 34-26 loss to the New Orleans Saints yesterday as we take your phone calls. And go next to Eric in Nashville. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. First of all, I hope you guys had a great Christmas and you have a Happy New Year if I don't talk to you again this week.
Thank you. You too, Eric.
Same to you, Eric.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Guys, as far as my haul for Christmas, somebody gave me a nice Titans throw, which I really appreciated. It was real nice, real good looking. I wish I could show it to you guys. You really I could appreciate it if you saw it. Guys, as far as the game yesterday, of course, what didn't help is also we had some key injuries, I guess. I don't remember who the player was, went out early on the card.
Jalen Armour-Davis.
Yeah, in the secondary, which, of course, didn't help. And, of course, I saw Arden Key on the Jumbotron went out late. He had a back issue, and I think Van Jefferson, I heard he got hurt. He's done for the year. So just with all the key injuries, certainly didn't help. Also, guys, and I could be wrong, guys, I saw the replay on the Jumbotron. Maybe the guy didn't grab his face mask. It looked like he had his hand on his face mask or touched it. I don't know. I could be wrong. He made a great play, but, it was just so frustrating. But, guys, as far as the offense yesterday, Ramon, I agree with you that they should have gotten Tarjay Spears more involved in the offense. Whether or not you could have ran Tony Pollard more, I mean, I'm not worried about the 100-yard game, but he did have a decent game, 80 PKs, 85 yards. But I thought Cam, the offensive line did a great job. There were times that I heard they said he had the ball like for 4 seconds. He was like wide open, standing alone, and it was like everybody was either yelling, get rid of the ball or run. I thought he should have ran more. And the thing was, a couple of those plays, he made some spectacular plays with the hurl ball stuff, but there were other times where the ball was like incomplete, and just having all that time and him being out on the field, I just believe he should have took off and ran. Mm-hmm. But also what was frustrating, there were times where we were driving the ball, makes a good plays, getting down there, and where we should have, I felt like got touchdowns, had to settle field goals. And I don't know if it was just the play calls or like Cam, when he was back there, was trying to even just wait for the receivers to get open, good coverage, or just what the deal was. But it was just so frustrating to see all that. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Same to you,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
You feel like Cam should have run more in this game?
It always feels that way with Cam.
Yeah.
It just, I
think
think
a couple times.
Because you're going to see him scramble, right?
2 carries for 10 for him yesterday.
Yeah, 5 yards a blip. I mean, I'll take but he's always going to have that because Cam is mobile. I don't know if he is fast. I don't know if he's agile enough to want to do that. Like, there will have to be a reset. Eric bringing up Cam running the football more. There have to be a reset. I honestly think in Cam's mindset, coming from his coaches, is the way I'm going to view this one. If he gets the freedom to run the football, everybody's running it. Everybody, like every quarterback currently, except for Phillip Rivers, is running the football.
Yeah. That's true. And it depends on what kind of scheme he's in, right? Because if you bring in a Shanahan tree coach, like Chris Collinsworth made the comment last night about Brock Purdy, it's so hard to get pressure on him because there's so many bootlegs, so many rollouts, so much play action that you start to commit too much to the quarterback, well, then you are vulnerable on the backside of the run game.
And I think that is definitely going to have to play a part in it, too.
But you have to have a respectable run game in order to set that up.
Exactly.
Which the Titans didn't have in this game.
Threats down the field where those guys feel like they got to turn and run.
Right. You're manipulating the linebackers, getting them to take steps up, you throw it over their head.
Absolutely. You speak of like Purdy and stuff like that. Like those guys have threats, and the way the offense is set up, they're able to get down the field to where the defense has turned its back. And I don't think this defense has this because they have such a reputation, and we can get to Cam with 4, maybe 5 if we have to.
Right.
And it's that part of it too. And I think now the adjustment, what I mean that has to be done is like I think teams expect Cam to run side to side, Eric, and not go down the field because he's trying to create, and to our point we made earlier, make the explosive play far too often when you just want a continuation of a first down. You want more plays on the field. That's the one that asked me a second ago in our chat. Bustin was just like, how long did it take you to go from, right guard to left guard or from tackle to guard? And I was thinking to myself, it's the same thing. It resonates to Cam. He needs more reps. For him to, I don't think he needs more big plays. And I say that by saying this. The big plays will come the more and longer he's out there on the field. I think that's honestly, besides the Titans' defense, getting worn down, I think that's why big plays happen to them. Think about the way that game started for the defense. Immediately in the backfield, Jeff gets his 10th sack, And then the longer the Saints stayed out there on the field, you have their running back estimate run a touchdown because they had worn them down and just continually to run more plays and expose the defense.
Started to lean on teams in the second half.
You can lean on them.
Titans didn't lean on the Saints defense in the second half. They ran 11 times for 59 yards.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that you have with trying to go for the chunk play all the time.
Tyler Shuck yesterday joined Joe Burrow in 2020 and Dak Prescott in 2016 as the only rookie quarterback since the 1970 merger with 300-plus passing yards and 0 interceptions in back-to-back games. Was yesterday's Saints passing success, Ramon, more about Tyler Shuck being that good or a banged-up Titans secondary playing that poorly?
Can we go back to the Senior Bowl from earlier in 2025? I loved Shuck then.
You did.
I was high on him. I knew the system he came from out of Louisville. I saw him be able to throw the ball. I think
you were a day one Tyler Shuck believer.
I was, and Zach Lyon kind of backed me up on this one too when we spoke about him down at the Senior Bowl. He looked calm. He looked poised. I don't want to call him great. I'll say this: his talent came out. His talent also shows he got one hell of a tight end, and he's got a true number one at doggone wide receiver too. So he's capable of making those plays because he also has the talent, but he got the parts surrounding him too. I thought he had a fair game. I didn't know how the team, the Saints, was going to get out of the hole they dug in the first half.
I'm with you.
But to your point, you give a guy like him that's got some talent and some weapons, the opportunity, it shows itself. And the other thing that he didn't do is where you want to, and I'm not overly comparing him to King. I think Shuck's like 26 almost at this point.
Yeah,
he's already an older guy.
Almost my age.
Seriously, he's not getting discounted Sohos no more.
It's a very niche reference that I think about 10 people just understood, but I appreciate those 10 people. Anyway.
Too. My point of it is, though, too, he's already got a level of poise, it seems, to take what's in front of him and expect, like you said, on the double move for Olave, eventually his play is going to show up. And I think that's where Cam has to get to in his career. Like, your play is going to eventually show up. I think that's also, and I'm jumping in a lot of places, but I think that's part of Josh Allen's problem in Buffalo, is he's always looking for the big moment. And sometimes it's like you got to kind of let your play kind of come to you in those situations.
You've got to let the structure of the offense create big plays, not just you improvising outside of the structure of the offense.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not a totally sustainable way to live. Did you just say yes, ma'am?
Yes, man.
I was about to say.
Let me help you with this man thing.
Hold on a minute. Wait, hold what?
I said yes, man. Like, I'm in agreement with you, man.
I got you. Andy is in Clarksville up next. What's up, Andy?
Morning, Andy.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Jags Hate Week, which is always a good week. We can end the season with putting a thorn under their saddle, burr under their saddle, thorn under, whatever. Wherever thorns go, let's put it there. And so I'm just curious about the playoff scenarios for the Jags, win-loss, and then I know the Texans, whether win-loss. And so that aside, one thing, I used to live in Louisiana, so I'm happy for my friends who are Saints fans that it seems like they've got their quarterback for the future. Imagine if Cam Ward had a Chris Olave. That's, once the season's over, we'll start talking draft. That's why wide receiver needs to be number one, man.
Yep.
I roll with you there, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. I think you saw the Titans' number one and number two priorities for the offseason both pop up yesterday. One of them was playing for the other team. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you who that player is coming up next. Hour two after this, 615-737-1045. The player I want to pluck from the Saints and put in two-tone blue. Plus, Mike McCoy talking about a very interesting part of Cam Ward's game yesterday that I thought was very unique. We'll talk about that next.
7 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. A tale of two halves for the Titans on Sunday as they fall 34-26 to the Saints, and they also drop to 3-13 on the season. Up 20-10, and the Titans holding the Saints to just 92 total yards at the half. The Saints storm back, outscoring the Titans 24-6 and gained 331 total yards in the second half. Cam Ward threw for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ward now goes over 3,000 passing yards for the season, which marks a franchise record for a Titans rookie. On the defensive side of the ball, Jeffrey Simmons registered his 10th sack of the season, which is the first time that Simmons has been able to achieve that double-digit sack mark. In other NFL news, a fun Sunday night football game last night as the 49ers outlast the Bears 42-38. Christian McCaffrey had 181 total yards of offense and a touchdown. Brock Purdy found the end zone 5 times, 3 through the air and 2 on the ground. The 49ers improved to 12-4 on the season. And the New England Patriots destroyed the New York Jets yesterday 42-10. Drake May threw for 5 touchdown passes, and with the Bills' 13-12 loss to the Eagles yesterday, the Patriots locked up the AFC East title for the first time since Tom Brady did it with the Patriots back in 2019. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Break it easy once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 this morning, Monday morning. Glad you're with us, Saundra, Moan, and Will. 615-737-1045. Recapping the football weekend. Some college football headlines we'll dive into in hour 3, including a couple about Tennessee. Your thoughts as well in the F&M Big Chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. As the Titans fall to 3-13 with a 34-26 loss at home yesterday to the New Orleans Saints. Ramon, Alante Taylor is from Coffee County, Tennessee. Vol for life.
Yeah, he is.
Hold on, let me put these down. Okay. All right, I just took off my orange tinted glasses.
Okay.
They are sitting here by the side. I'll wipe them off later and make sure that they're cleaned and all these things.
Pause for a second. Let it clear.
All right, this is Titans Will talking, not former Tennessee student and athlete. Will talking. I think Alante Taylor proved his value to the Titans front office yesterday. I would like to pluck him for the New Orleans Saints and place him back in his home state, home area. Does Alante Taylor fit what you think the Titans need at corner as one of the top free agent names available at corner? Because he almost had 2 picks yesterday. One of them was going to be a touchdown if he did catch it. He was everywhere in that Saints secondary, especially in the second half against Cam Ward.
Yes, he does fit that for a lot of different reasons, man. His availability, you see his smarts, you see his ability to not back down too much. Even when he gets beat, he's close to his guy. Like, that's a part of playing corner, too. It's just like, playing almost any position. Like, quarterback's going to have some incompletions. Wide receivers is going to have a drop or get locked up against a cornerback from time to time. The one thing you notice about Alante is his feet and eyes are always where they're supposed to be. He needed probably about another inch in height as he's listed at 6 foot to get that interception. But as far as playing his zone, as far as being in the space that you want him to be in, well, he checks those boxes, and he, to be quite honest with you, has been doing that since he kind of came into the league. I didn't know what Alante was going to be when he came into the NFL, and then I ended up having a conversation with Alvin Kamara 1 or 2 times. I was like, man, how the young boy doing? Like, he going to be all right. Like, you hear him say those types of things about Alante, and other guys have been around him. He's got the respect. He's got the athleticism. He's got the playmaking ability, man, and he's also got the availability, too, in free agency and his availability to be active on game day. Haven't been a guy that you see, being active a lot in his career. To me, yes, Will. He fits the bill of a guy that I think you want to pour in free agency, and I think he might fall into that mid-tier, mid-upper tier as far as pay goes in this league, too. I'm not sure if he's, tier A.
He is this offseason at corner in the free agent market. I think he's going to get paid like one of the top nickel corners in the NFL. And I think his athleticism and length fits the Titans' type at corner. What do we know about this front office and what they value at the cornerback position? The ability to run, the ability to make up ground, long arms, lanky, long, fast corners. When you look at the guys that they brought in. Well, Alontae Taylor in the 2022 NFL draft process ran a 4.36 40, had a 9.06 relative athletic score, 6 foot, 199. He is long with 32 and a quarter inch arms. Would you say that's probably on the higher end of corners in the NFL, above average at least?
Yeah.
In terms of his overall athleticism and overall length that he brings to that position. I think he is as a bigger nickel type corner.
Yeah.
He's not one of these undersized guys that you move inside out of necessity. I think he is physical at the point of attack. I think he is long. I think he has the top end speed to make up ground when he does give up a little bit of separation. I think he fits a lot of what this organization likes at the cornerback position. And I think they will be in on him this offseason.
Just to give a comparison to just the prototype of the athlete, Mike Bergonzi's here. Mike Bergonzi also helped bring in Kansas City L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed is listed as 6'1", 192. Alontae, 6 foot, 199. If those numbers are right or accurate. My point is this. Say what you want to about L'Jarius. Kansas City got the best out of him.
Let's do another one on the Chiefs. Jalen Watson right now is one of their corners that we just saw a couple weeks ago. He is 6'2", 197, 32 and a quarter inch arms. 4.51 40. The exact same arm length as Alontae Taylor. Not to say all corners with arm length fit into what the Titans want, but in terms of the need you have at corner, which I think, to me, I know Andy just called about receiver.
Brother.
I think their need at corner is more pressing than their need at wide receiver right now. I honestly, they are at very worst equal to me in terms of what you need from both, because I think you need a drafted receiver and a signed receiver. I think you may need, Ramon, as many as 3 corners this upcoming offseason.
That's the reason I don't think it's bad. And I know it's a different position to have a conversation about a guy, and you don't need him, but like Caleb Downs, like conversation, like it's somebody in the secondary.
Ohio State safety.
Yeah. Like, I know I've seen people make the conversation. There's not a wide receiver that deserves a top 10 pick in this draft. Maybe true, maybe not. Guys continually get better. But if there is a bona fide corner in this draft that you feel like justifies the top 10 pick, to your point about making that hard decision, or do you go get a bona fide corner, or do you go get a wide receiver to help this offense? Is a hard decision to be making, Will, and come April. It's the whole point of it all to me.
Sure.
Because, again, picking top 10 wide receivers, like, you got to make sure that you are right, because I think there's more wrong on the offensive side of picking bad wide receiver or picking one that doesn't fit what you need, as opposed to a cornerback. A bad corner, guess what he does? He goes to be a nickel. You know? Like, you burn a top 10 pick, but I feel like you still get service out of a guy. If a guy can't turn into a number 1 wide receiver, like how you expect Treylon Burks to have been, and you kind of really sets your offense back in a way.
Mansour Delane at LSU, Avion Terrell out of Clemson, Jerron McCoy out of Tennessee, the 3 top names on Field Yates' most recent ESPN.com mock draft. None of those guys close to top, really, 10. Yeah, I mean, the first guy in his most recent mock draft is Mansour Delane, the LSU corner who goes 11th to the Vikings within this. We'll have plenty of time to talk about those prospects and get into the names and the ones you need to know, but I think the headline for the Titans at this point of the draft evaluation process is they need multiple corners in this NFL draft class. Yesterday, Cam Ward did something, Ramon, that has not been done in the next-gen stats era since 2016. This from NFL Pro yesterday. Cam Ward averaged 4.07 seconds to throw, the longest single-game mark by any quarterback since 2016.
What?
On throws taking longer than 2.5 seconds, Cam Ward was 13 for 28 for 208 yards and both of his touchdowns. On quick throws, 2.5 seconds or faster, he completed 8 of 12 attempts for only 43 yards. He also completed, Cam Ward yesterday, 7 of 17 downfield attempts of 10-plus air yards for 143 yards and a touchdown. Mike McCoy talked about this after the game yesterday, Justin, if you already have this, about what that means and why Cam's time to throw statistic was so different in this game versus others?
Well, I think it's a combination really of everything. I'll say one thing is, like the fourth down call, there's nothing like you have a good running game. That's always going to help the protection, especially when there's play actions and things like that, a number of them that we ran today. So anytime you have the play actions, you're going to have a longer time to hold on to the ball, do certain things. When you're efficiently running the game, you're committed to the running game. And I think also as Cam extends plays, that obviously jumps the numbers up from time to time. And I know you referenced it earlier, but I'll have to watch the tape to see exactly, hey, could we got rid of the ball sooner on certain plays? What is it? Were plays covered? Is it a progression? Something like that. So I'll have a better answer once I watch it tomorrow.
It's Mike McCoy speaking post-game yesterday. What is meaningful, or how meaningful is 4.07 seconds to throw, Ramon? What does that mean to you?
I'm holding my back is what that means to me, okay? Because as an offensive lineman, eventually that's going to break down. There's no protection unless it's Max Pro that allows you to hold the ball for that long.
It's not a sustainable way to live.
It's not. And that part, I'm telling you, has to be just nipped quick. Like, I got the tape running in here, and I look down from time to time, and I look at Cam holding onto the football, and it's like, I feel like the ball should be going to somebody that's 5 yards down the field, and he's eyes, you kind of see his helmet, eyes up down the field, and next thing you know, he's scrambling. He's running side to side. You put a lot of people in harm's way in those moments. Now, there's a caveat to that, too. There could be DPIs downfields, holdings, illegal touching that you have, too, that you can benefit from. But, Will, what do we love about Kyle Shanahan? And you look at even the way Philly runs their offense from time to time, or Seattle when the Colts were hot early this year, you love the efficiency. And that's where, to me, that's the next step for young Cam Moore, is the efficiency of the play, of the offense, of what Coach McCoy, I think, is alluding to, and what I took from it is, and I say this all the time, not every meal is a feast. You got to grab some peanuts every once in a while and, I'm going to just get a little nip of this right here. And I feel like every time, it's a big old bite that he's looking for. And that 4 seconds, I know that's an analogy that a lot of people don't like to have, but that to me keeps you fed. That keeps the fuel. That keeps the fire running right there, man. When you can just continually march down the field. Those chunk plays, man, they're awesome to have. But again, we're going to say this again. It's not sustainable.
Well, here's the other thing. I also think there are big plays that aren't happening because Cam is abandoning his progressions so quickly to try to scramble and just play backyard football. And I thought there was a really big example of that late. And I know you saw it in the stadium. Yep. The broadcast showed it for people that were watching on TV. The first play of the Titans' last possession, Elikiah Manor was gone over the top of the defense. Not totally Cam's fault, because there was starting to be a little bit of pressure around him and that pocket was caving in a little bit, but he got off of his progression and off of that deep ball to Ellick because he had to start dancing around in the pocket and try to find either an underneath option, run, or create off script and allow someone time to get open. If he sticks with his progression just a half a second longer in that way, well, you're not going to get to 4 seconds. You might get to 3.3 or 3.6. But you're going to see that Elikiah Manor is on a really what looks like kind of a post corner over the middle of the field. Well, that's an oxymoron. Let me explain that better. He faked the corner out and then comes back in over the middle of the field. Yeah. It was a busted coverage. He was gone. That was Cam Ward's biggest mistake in that game, to me, was his inability to see a wide open Elikiah Manor over the top of the defense that could have tied that game before you even had to get to the play where he's almost down and chucks it to Tajay on the side. That was a miss by Cam Ward in that moment because, again, to me, from my perspective, I don't have to go back and look at the All-22 when it becomes available today, he's bailing out of his progression a bit too quickly to try to make the big play, and he actually, in turn, left a big play on the table because of it.
Man, I'm talking to a real good friend of mine. This might be a conversation for after the break, too. But, or sometime later in the show. I'm having a conversation with a good friend of mine last night on the back porch watching these games. And defensive player, first-round pick, just defense to the core of him is what he is. So, and I like to pick his brain in these things. And we were discussing, like, different types of offenses and what offenses are supposed to mean. And, like, I remember one time I got criticized by somebody on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Twitter. Like, I kept saying, like, doing the broadcast, this is what they do. And it's fair, and I ain't mind it. But I kept saying he's undressing, like, they're undressing the defense. Like, you get an opportunity. What I mean by that is.
Who was?
I think it was Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Georgia was undressing the Vols defense a good bit this year in that game, like putting guys in motion, seeing if they were in zone, seeing if they were in man. Who's moving with the wide receiver? And that's because
scheming up plays.
It allows you to see where can I go with the football. And when you have pre-snap motions, okay, they're in man or they're in zone or whatever they're doing right now, they're faking. What it gives you the ability to do, though, Will, is know where to go with the football. Holding on to the football, to me, sometimes doesn't signify that you're dynamic. You might not know where to go, with the football. And it's only so much you can do when it comes down to how the play is supposed to be ran, the timing of it, when that person is supposed to be open.
Yeah.
And you got to get the ball to them. And that's where I feel like this next coach, if they change coach, because somebody think Mike McCoy is going to be the head coach still, has to get him to understand, Cam, that ball goes here. I don't care. If it doesn't, if he's covered, it goes here. If not, throw it away. And that, to me, you speaking of holding on to the ball 4 or 5 seconds, well, that's an eternity.
It is.
That's where Chase Young gets a strip sack.
It makes it harder on your offensive line to have enough gas in the tank to block in the fourth quarter, I would imagine, too.
And think about who else is tired. Those wide receivers who are scrambling. Like, the defense suffers, but so do your wide receivers that got to come out and might mess up the flow of the game because now you got to change personnel. Or the defense knows this now. Oh, he just scrambled for 5 seconds? They're not going to send the wide receivers down the field for another route. They're running the football. Now you're predictable.
4 straight games with multiple passing touchdowns for Cam Ward. That's the longest streak for the Titans since Ryan Tannehill's 5-game streak in 2020. NFL Researcher had this on Twitter at NFL_researcher. The only rookie number 1 overall pick with a longer streak since 1970 of consecutive games with multiple passing touchdowns, Baker Mayfield, with 5 straight in 2018. So not all bad.
No.
Certainly yesterday for the Titans against a good defense and for Cam Ward. 20 points at halftime, the second most the Saints have allowed all season in the first half. Just unable to sustain that into the second half to finish off a Week 17 win. Should the Titans re-sign Chikakonkwo, Tony Pollard, 2 players that are earning a closer look at 2026 roles on the Titans? We'll dive into what their futures look like because the presents have been so good. Coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Medical House Calls. Good people, that is the website too, medicalhousecalls.com. It's that time of the year, we spoke about it, where you're in just holiday purgatory and New Year purgatory too, where you just, each day is the same day. Well, here's what I want to tell you. You want it to feel like a new day, man. Reach out to our people at Medical House Calls, man. They will directly come to your house and provide you primary health care if you need urgent care, IV therapy, or also medical weight loss. They are a concierge to medicine because they know this. You're busy and you want to make sure that you also get your vitals checked. For a small fee, they will come to your house, man, give you an evaluation, full exam treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it. The whole thing is this. They want to make sure that you're capable of being able to be serviced because, again, we're so busy in our day-to-day lives that you can't make it to the weight room. You can't make it to the doctor's office. Well, they're available to you from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Same-day appointments are available to you or next-day guaranteed. If you need an IV to get you right back, they will be at your house, at your service, man. To learn more about them or to book with them like I do, simply go to medicalhousecalls.com.
Hey, it's Will Bowling. Are you having home electrical issues? Well, available 24/7, the Lee Company team handles electrical problems and more in short order. From routine repairs on outlets and switches to fixture upgrades and generator installations, Lee Company's award-winning electricians will get the job done right the first time. Contact Lee Company for all your home electrical needs at leecompany.com. Hey, look, you may have been spending more time around your home during the holiday season, had some days off on the back end of the year, and you realize that more stuff is not working the way that it's supposed to around the house than what you originally thought. The best thing about Lee Company, you get them out there, they're able to take care of anything. HVAC, plumbing, electrical. If you have those electrical problems around the house, you just hand them their to-do list. They're going to take care of it for you. Head online to leecompany.com to schedule with an experienced electrician and get the folks on your side who have been doing this for over 80 years in Middle Tennessee. That's leecompany.com to schedule now with an experienced electrician. Lee Company, all you need. Well, as we go into the final week of the NFL season, one more week to evaluate the 2025 Titans, I think there are two players who we assumed weren't going to be here next year who might have earned a spot on this team next year. Ramona Will, 1045 The Zone, 615-737-1045 on Twitter at Ramon and Will. Nick Suss of the Tennessean put this out there yesterday on Twitter, Ramon. Players with 3+ seasons with 50+ catches since moving to Nashville. Delaney Walker had 5. Derek Mason had 5, as did Frank Wycheck. 3 seasons for Kendall Wright. 3 seasons for A.J. Brown. And 3 seasons for Chig Okonkwo. Wow. 3+ seasons with 50 or more catches in a season since moving to Nashville. Ramon Foster with Chig Okonkwo's 42-yard touchdown yesterday. Mm-hmm. With the play that he has had this season to help his rookie quarterback, leading the team in receptions. Should the Titans try to extend Chig Okonkwo this offseason?
Been back and forth on this one, man. For this reason. One, you got money to spend in free agency.
You do.
If they choose to.
Lots of it.
If they choose to. The question that I have is there a replacement for Chig that can take you to a different level of threatening other teams? Like, Chig to me is fine. Is Chig ever going to be a Pro Bowler? I don't know. I honestly don't think so. I think this offense is going to kind of push itself to be more at a certain point wide receiver centric. I think there's a dire stress to get that position filled, to find your 1, your 2. I think there's a good combination of threes on this team as it stands. And when that happens, like, what level of involvement do you want from that tight end position if it involves Chig? Like, has he played himself into extending his NFL career? Absolutely. Does it mean that it's here in Tennessee and that they should exhaust all efforts to signing him back? I still go no right now. I would look over his shoulder first before signing him back. I'd have to see what his market, and his market would have to be very Tennessee Titan friendly. I'm saying yes to Tony Pollard, and I'm saying I'm looking over Chig's shoulder first. And that's so unfair to him. It is, because I know how this business goes for guys like him that's not a first, second round pick. I think you can find another Chig is what I would say to you too, respectfully.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Because is Chig overly dynamic? No.
I think he is.
You think so?
I think Chig Okonkwo showed how dynamic he is yesterday, and I think he has rare ability to make players miss at that position with the football in his hands. I do.
Okay, so I retract that. Yes. He's shown that time and time again. Tight ends are so weird, Will.
What do you mean by that?
Because I always feel like there's a better one out there. And then when you look at what he's been asked to do on a team that has to go to him, he's not a great blocker, but he can catch the football too.
I think he's gotten a lot better.
He's gotten better. Yes, he's gotten better. But when you look at what's available, like me, I look at guys that absolutely make plays for him, and I think there may just be another version of him out there. Has he brought himself to a point to where he deserves another contract? Yeah. It depends on what this offense is going to look like and his level of involvement moving forward. Like, I see Gunnar Helm potentially taking another step over him at some point. But again, how much can a second-year guy like him, I guess, cause a threat to this team? Well, I'm stuck on the idea that Cam needs a guy that can win at all costs at those positions.
Sure. Well, I think Chig Okonkwo is good for Cam Ward because of what he did yesterday on a 43-yard touchdown. He's got touchdowns in back-to-back games. Chig is a safety valve that can do more with less than maybe any other player currently catching passes from Cam.
This year, absolutely.
I think Chig teaches Cam a good lesson. A 5-yard route can become a 43-yard gain if I give my guy a chance. He gave Chig Okonkwo a chance yesterday. Now, granted, he was wide open on 4th and 2. And Chig made the most of it. I think that he is a prime example of someone that makes sense and. I think there are two players, him and Tony Pollard both, who you say yes and.
I'm listening.
I want Chigakonkwo and Gunnar Helm. I want Chigakonkwo and probably another free agent tight end.
Yeah.
I want Tony Pollard and I want another running back this upcoming offseason. The Titans are in need of good football players for 2026. I think Tony Pollard and Chigakonkwo are both good football players. And I think with all of the things that you are about to change for Cam Ward moving forward into 2026, something being consistent and constant that not only can teach the new guys how we do things, and I know that operation's about to change as well, but again, hear me out.
I'm listening.
In terms of when the bullets start flying and when Cam Ward needs someone and something that he can trust. In 2026, when there's a new system, there's probably a new voice in his headset, there's a new number one receiver, probably a number two receiver that's new, potentially a new slot receiver. I think Chigakonkwo is a constant that can be a little bit of a security and safety blanket for Cam Ward next season.
I'm going to be real. You kind of cooked right there.
Okay. Well, thank you. Because I convinced you.
Yeah, you did. Like
you're changing so much around him. Something's got to stay the same, in my opinion.
I've been a huge advocate of the Titans got to keep Titans. I have been, and I'm already looking over the shoulder because I'm like, all right, I feel like there's always the opportunity to get better. And here's the thing, though, too. Like the reason I feel this way about go see if you can find somebody else is because I do see what the playmaker, his ability to make plays, Cam's, is for this team. And you kind of want to have somebody that's constantly at the forefront of those plays. Now, when you bring in potentially a drafted wide receiver, a wide receiver 2 sign a free agency, okay, you have the ability to retain Chig, like that makes a little bit more sense right there as to the why. And again, you also help Chig develop. You mentioned his ability to be friendly to Cam, and he has been that. It's just at that position, you almost kind of long for what Detroit has or what the Eagles have. And I think you can. It's just what offense is going to allow Chig to get to that point. And I don't know what the new offense is going to be. I can't predict that, can't project that for Cam either.
What Chig did with the ball in his hands yesterday fits in every offense.
That's very true.
Good play callers are going to be able to scheme plays for Chigakonkwo when Chigakonkwo has proven I can go angry run of the week on you and stiff arm a couple dudes into the turf pellets inside the 15-yard line and get you a touchdown on 4th and 2.
You convinced me on that one.
But he's also 26, Ramon. That's the other thing. He is a young guy going into free agency.
His price will be right, you think?
I do think that now, and here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there's not a guarantee that Chigakonkwo will have the highest bid from this team. Chigakonkwo may want to go somewhere else and be on a more immediate contender. He's got decisions to make on his own as well. And to our point about last season, Nick Westbrook-Akine, a guy we were having conversations about in this context this time last year, he chose to go somewhere else.
He did.
And Chigakonkwo might choose to do that. Just speaking in terms of should the Titans pursue another contract with Chig. That's the only thing I'm saying. I think you do.
I think you do.
And you hope that the price is right. And hope that, again, being the hometown team, you get the best price for someone like that who wants to stick around.
If you're into keeping camaraderie and letting your guys develop here and watching them grow even more so, then yes, Chig fits. Like I said, you cooked in that explanation of it. I'm usually the influencer on these type of situations. You influenced me into and then to be overly fair to Chig too. He's earned it. He's proved it. He's been a bright spot with the squad as far as being in every single week. And not just that, he almost ran down Chase Young too yesterday.
He did.
You see that speed. So that's the part of it for me and he showed it on the touchdown when he hit the pirouette, whatever it was, when he spun out of that one. But if you're bringing him back, what does his price justify his involvement? I think is going to play a huge dividend in it. Where does Gunnar Helm fall into this one? And how, like I said before, much of an involvement does he have? Because the same way that you were able to let go of John and other guys that were tight ends here, I feel like the conversation is you can always find another tight end. And that's my hesitation, is you can always find another tight end. And that's so unfair. It is, but like I said, you cooked.
So Easton Freeze was talking about this yesterday on Twitter during the game as well. And to the point that he made, I think it's valid. Chig Okonkwo has always finished the season really well. And he mentioned this on Twitter. He said pre-December, this was after his 42-yard catch or 43-yard touchdown he had yesterday. Said pre-December, Chig Okonkwo has played 48 games, has 1,200 yards, 25 yards per game. That number jumps up to 42 yards per game in 18 post-December games in his NFL career. 4 touchdowns pre-December in 48 games, 3 touchdowns in just 18 games post-December. To me, though, I think Chig has shown more consistency throughout this entire season, and I think his numbers now are a byproduct not of him just all of a sudden playing so much better, but of Cam Ward playing a lot better.
That's true.
I think he has benefited from Cam Ward's increased level of maturity, accuracy, and just overall consistency since the Week 10 bye the Titans had. What about Tony Pollard, though? And to your point about Tony earning more of a look and Tony being in a bit of a different contract situation because he is under contract for next season, but the Titans, we'll go through it in a minute, have the ability to get out of that deal for really no penalty. 18 carries for 85 yesterday for Tony. He has 1,000 yards again, the 5th player in Titans history to record multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons, joining Eddie George, Chris Johnson, Earl Campbell, and Derrick Henry. Wow. Active in the NFL right now, Ramon, he and Derrick Henry are the only players with 1,000 rushing yards in each of the last 4 seasons. Has he done enough to earn a role in the 2026 Titans?
With what his price is going into next year, yeah. I honestly, I know Breece Hall, I think, is a free agent going into next year, and he will have a market most definitely. It's a matter of where the Titans want to go with this and how aggressive will they be to this point about this rebuild, this new regime, and to setting it. How aggressive do they want to be? I personally have come out and say, yes, I do think Tony Pollard, at his price point, at his production that he's had over the last 3-4 years, he's not even going to be 30 just yet also going into next season. I say, yeah, at $6.7 million for a starting running back that you know, depending upon how you want to give him the football, can be your bell cow. Yes, it to me, he's facing the same questions I think that Chig is going to have. How much more dynamic is the free agent market going to allow you to go shop?
Well, but the difference on Tony is that he's under contract.
I know, but to that point,
that's where those two situations are different.
Yeah, he has an out though. Like the Titans have an out as far as getting. So essentially, it's the same conversation. Well, it's just that they don't have to.
I don't think it's totally the same though, right? Because Chig has the option to go somewhere else that Tony doesn't have. Chig is open to bidders in the free agent market if it gets to that point. It's not like other teams can go talk to Tony Pollard and offer him something more. He's under contract.
But the point remains the same, that if the Titans want to keep Chig, they'll pay for Chig to stay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
But Chig can at least listen to other offers. Tony can't.
Tony can't. Yeah. But Tony can also prove himself by what he's done on the field that he deserves to be here. It's the point of it all, too. So I say yes on him because what is the offense going to be without him? Like, I know you can go find a new running back, Breece Hall, for instance. He's going to be a hot commodity in the name and free agency.
Very hot commodity. Yeah.
Are you willing to pay $12 million for him or just keep Tony Pollard at $6.7 million?
For me, Ramon, anyone.
I say yes to Pollard.
Unless you can get Breece Hall to be a Tennessee Titan, I'm rolling with Tony Pollard again. And someone else. Again, that I think is the theme of the Titans offseason. How do we get this guy to play even better and add someone else to help them?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to rely on Tony Pollard as much as you have had to this season. I think you need a 3-headed monster.
I agree.
Who those 3 guys are remains to be seen. But I don't think you can totally dismiss what Tony Pollard has done down the stretch this season. Would you have liked to see more of it for 17 weeks? Mm-hmm. Of course. But I think that what he has done in the month of December has earned him, again, unless you can get Breece Hall in, because Breece Hall is kind of a one of one, in this upcoming offseason and in this free agent market, unless that guy is available to you and wants to be a Titan, I would love to roll with Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, and a third guy. And maybe they like Khalil Mullings enough behind the scenes that that's their guy. I tend to think he is a special teamer and very short yardage back until proven otherwise. But I do think there's an opportunity there to continue to elevate the run game because you've seen what the run game means to Cam Ward's level of success in the past.
He needs it.
And I think you want to lean in more to what the run game is and being a run-first offense in 2026 to help your young quarterback continue to develop.
It's the Ben Johnson philosophy that he used with Caleb Williams.
Emory Hunt said it on the show last week.
Sure
how do
did.
you quarterback-proof the 2026 Tennessee Titans? That's how you quarterback-proof it.
Brees Hall's projected free agency numbers, just projections, almost $11 million.
The Titans are one of the few teams that could afford a front-loaded contract against the salary cap for a player of that caliber. Tony Pollard's cap number, Ramon, for next season, $9.25 million.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, again, they can afford. They can afford to do whatever they want if these players want to be Titans.
Sticking to the offensive side of things, as you just said, what Emory Hunt told us last week, how can you quarterback-proof this offense?
I think Brees Hall is a great start, and I think Tony Pollard and another guy to help at running back is not a bad option either. Your thoughts, 615-737-1045. Should the Titans re-sign Chikakonkwo and or Tony Pollard? We'll go to your thoughts coming up next. Relocating in Middle Tennessee is a big challenge. Relocating anywhere right now in this real estate market is crazy. With all the logistics, all the hoops you got to jump through, with the danger of your home being like that one in your neighborhood that's been sitting there on the market for sale sign collecting dust. You need the very best team on your side. You need Bernie Gallerani and Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Don't rely on that national agent that doesn't know you, doesn't know your neighborhood, or doesn't even really know or care about the area you're moving in, your goals. There's no one size fits all, and Bernie Gallerani understands that. And you're going to get the peace of mind of his 30-day guarantee. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no risk to you. Bernie will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home. If not, he will buy it from you. You got to check him out online at BernieGallerani.com or call him on his cell phone number. Yeah, his cell phone. That's how confident he is in helping you. 615-428-2644. Get the very best players on your team. Get Bernie Gallerani Real Estate online at BernieGallerani.com. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the first half of your Monday morning. Some college football talk coming up in a half hour. Your phone calls, as always, on Mondays, wide open for that, 615-737-1045. On Twitter, at Ramona Will Ramon, where we have a question for the audience. Should the Titans try to extend Chig Okonkwo's contract this offseason? 78% of you say yes. It's more than I expected.
The minority on that one, man. Yeah. Chig, again, he's Titan born and bred. He's developed here. I said it on the break when you and I were talking. Is Chig's ability to be a weapon for this team is him beating guys and getting open, or him just being open? Like that pass you mentioned, like with Chig yesterday to Cam, like Cam, he was wide open. He connected on him, and Chig made one heck of a play down the field, though, too. Like that was friggin' phenomenal, man. When you look at what he was capable of doing, I'm always of the mindset, where can you get better? Where at do you have the need to replace somebody, too? And at what cost is always a thing, too. Has Chig absolutely earned that? Yes, he has. Can he continue that and ascend even further to be more of a threat offensively for this team, to quarterback-proof the offense? This, I guess, with more time with Cam, we'll see. But to say he's made plays, and the other thing, too, that Chig deserves credit on, he's minimized big time the drops, the phantom just looking at his hands after the play type of plays he's had from time and time again. So, yeah, I think the majority is right there, and it's a matter of how they will utilize him in this new version of this Cam Ward offense moving forward.
Well, I think of it this way. Chig Okonkwo is 20 days older than Tyler Shuck.
Is he? 26 and some change?
26 years old.
Okay, yeah.
He is 20 days older. He turns 27 on September the 8th, this upcoming fall. Tyler Shuck turns 27 on September the 28th, this upcoming fall.
He's got time.
He certainly has time. And I think this is the best quarterback situation that he's had maybe since his rookie season.
Yeah.
Chig, I mean, honestly, you are at the beginning of potentially a really good relationship for Cam Ward early in his career, and a good safety blanket that in multiple games this season has taken checkdowns and turned them into big games, big gains. Cam Ward yesterday, speaking post-game, talking about what he saw in the second half, his overall evaluation of the game. This was the Titans quarterback post-game.
I think just playing on time, being good at run game, being efficient in the pass game, and at times, myself getting, big play happy. We're trying to push the ball down the field, and then, just me having to connect the receivers. So, everything takes in part to when we're good and when we're bad, but it's all about us just, continue to go up and stay on the right trajectory.
It's Cam Ward yesterday. How do you teach Cam to not get big play happy?
By not being nervous about the 1 and 2 yard gains they may get on the ground. That's it. Is that part of it for me. Like, the run game ain't ever be perfect. You have levels of dominance from game to game. Probably once every 3 or 4 games, you see your offensive line just have dominance. And the other part of it, too, is being good situationally. Running a football. If it's 3rd and 5 and you put it on the ground and want to go run it, like, okay, yes, that relieves some stress of you having to feel like it's got to be on your shoulders every single time. I thought that first half, the way they marched up and down the field, they were good on 1st and 2nd down plays. That, to me, has to play a bigger part for this Titans offense, too. We speak a lot about 3rd down runs and plays and dynamic stuff down the field, but that, to me, is, like I said, the more reps that Cam get, the better and more comfortable he'll feel as far as taking care of the football, not searching for the big play, and putting himself in a position to be an efficient quarterback. Mm-hmm. Because I think in order for him to hit those big plays, his efficiency of taking the dinking and dunking and throwing to the sideline has got to play a huge role for him before he takes that next level. That is so crucial, Will. It just is like these young guys aren't afforded the luxury, man, and we've spoken about this, of being able to sit and watch and being able to grow.
Tyler Shuck was afforded that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
early in the season.
Yes.
He's 5-3 as a starter.
Absolutely. Like, it's not afforded in this world. Like, I'm bringing up something that's going to be a sore spot for a lot of people. But right now, there's a trend. There's a word, 2 words trending on social media, on my algorithm. It's Steelers and Willis. My point is Malik, right? not because of what the Titans had with him. But Malik wasn't afforded that time, and then he grows and he's sick. Now he looks like the best backup there ever is in the world of football going into this free agency.
And probably going to be a starter next season somewhere. Yeah,
I'm serious. But my point is just that. Cam's got to be fair to himself, this team, this fan base, us that cover him, and understanding like it's not the right now that you are looking at. And that's where I was earlier this season because so much was put on just how good he was that I was expecting just snap of a finger him being an all-pro. And it don't work like that.
Sure.
And that to me is where Cam not being nervous about taking it slow, having that growth, man. And here's the other part of it though too. Having the right type of veterans around him will actually help him more in that department than ever before.
And again, I think that's where you look at the value of this team's ability to run the ball that we talked about a lot last week. Like they have to be unpredictable on third down in order to have consistent success, the way the team is built and the way Cam's brain is wired right now.
Yes.
You've got to take the decision out of his hands to run around and do something crazy all the time. That's got to be the cherry on top of the sundae, not the ice cream. The ice cream needs to be what are you doing within the structure and the process of this offense. And against Kansas City, you saw a lot of quick outs. You saw a lot of quick comeback routes and throws and things that took the decision out of his hands and put it in the receiver's hands, where he could just run out there and was just putting the football on a platter for Chimere Dike and Van Jefferson and Elikiah Manor and these guys. In this game, you saw him have to create in real time. And while, yes, there are really good throws, and the throw to Mason Kinsey he had, I tweeted it out, A-plus throw, A-plus catch. That's not a sustainable way to live in the National Football League.
Because he was covered.
And you know who else is going to tell you that? Patrick Mahomes, who makes those plays routinely. Josh Allen, who yesterday lost a game because the ceiling and the floor were too far apart.
Yes, they were.
He's doing too much. Like, what are you doing within the structure and process of the offense to just keep your offense moving and keep the chains moving and stay on schedule? When this team isn't on schedule and can't run the football, and you ask Cam Ward to do a lot in order to make plays, and when Cam asks himself to do a lot in order to keep the offense moving, that's where this team gets away from itself and is not the best version of itself. That's why you either keep Tony Pollard around or you go get Breece Hall.
That's where also, too, every place that he's been at, I joked a little bit earlier when we were on break. I was like, this is what happens when you go to Washington State and you feel like you got to save them. Then you go to Miami. Miami's leaning on you heavy, too, to be their guy that takes them to the college football playoffs.
And that was as much about a defense that was going to give up 50 a game, so you knew you had to score 51.
Exactly. But, like, he's been the guy that's, I say this, lighthearted and in no relation to religion, but he's been a messiah everywhere that he's been. And to be quite honest with you,
including on the Tennessee Titans.
Including here. And that's why, to your point, Will, about either you keep Tony Pollard to keep the cohesion or you go get the guy that's going to keep him, Cam, cool. And that's the balance to me that I feel like if they're looking at the psychological part of what Cam needs to be successful, and I add this to it too, a better version of that defense with a great secondary would also assist.
And that's the other part of it is that once they got down, they also had to get away from what they are best right now. Is a run-first, play-action offense. Once they got down, it kind of forced them out of their plan A on offense. 615-737-1045. Who had the best win of the NFL weekend? We'll tell you next.
8:02, good morning, live from the Circa Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. There's a tale of two halves for the Titans as they fall on Sunday to the Saints 34-26 and drop to 3-13 on the season. Cam Ward threw for 251 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Cam Ward is now over 3,000 passing yards for the season, which is a franchise record for a Titans rookie. On the defensive side, Jeffrey Simmons registered a 10th sack of the season, which marks the first time that he's gotten double-digit sacks in a season. Also, Titans rookie returner Chimere Dike set the new NFL record for all-purpose yards in a rookie season with 2,371 yards, passing Tim Brown's mark that he set back in 1988. In other NFL news, a fun Sunday night football game last night where 80 points were scored as the San Francisco 49ers outlast the Chicago Bears 42-38. Brock Purdy found the end zone 5 different times, 3 passing and 2 rushing. The 49ers are now 12-4 on the season. And the Patriots, who destroyed the Jets 42-10, locked up the AFC East title for the first time since back in 2019 after the Buffalo Bills lost to the Eagles yesterday, 13-12. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 3, second half of the show on Monday mornings. Ramon and Will. 11-year NFL veteran, Vol for life, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins playing the hits. I'm Will Bowling. 615-737-1045, the number. Haven't heard from you yet this morning, Jayhawk. How's your Christmas?
Yeah,
It was good. Actually, I do have some news for you guys.
Talk to us nicely, man.
Burying the lead. What's up?
My wife and I are having a baby boy.
Hey! Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Love that.
A lot of family time, a lot of discussing, and a lot of revealing.
Did you?
Yeah, we had a good time.
I knew you were doing that last week. I didn't know if you wanted to reveal on air, so I'm glad you did. That's great.
Yeah, we had to tell
I would have
parents
gone to
first.
this hours before had I known you were willing to do this. I'm sorry.
With short weeks, there's a lot to do to prepare for the days that we have off. So,
Also fair.
but
also fair.
we did a fun little reveal. Actually, we did. I took my phone, I hung it on the ceiling fan, pointed it downwards.
Okay.
So it was just on the two of us. We had a little confetti cannon. It was kind of fun.
Did you post it? Are you going to post it?
Yeah,
Is it being
so-
edited?
Yeah, I've already edited. I'll show you in the break. It's probably going to be posted later today or this week.
Let's hear it for the boys. You got to play that song now. Coming back at some point. Let's hear it for... Ain't that how it goes? I'm not even going to do that. He's going to save it and use it for his
You're right.
baby's nursery rhyme or something like that.
For his baby's nursery rhyme.
I think we're going to have baby crying versus baby falling asleep.
Yeah, you're right about that. So,
Time to wake up the baby. Oh, let's play Ramon.
let's play Ramon again.
For the boys. Kill the boy. Hey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know some of the song, don't have a clue who sings it, but I know we're going to hear it for the boys, though. Of
course you don't.
Listen, Listen, I want us to stay together for a while, guys. If we can go 3 for 3 on boys as dads at some point out here.
I'm just trying to get married first, man. All right, don't you put that on me.
I'm just
Peyton, if you're listening.
projecting.
We're within 6 months of our wedding now, but let's hold on a minute, player.
Hold on a minute, player. I got life to live.
I will say the first question you get when you get married is, "Hey, when's the kids?"
I saw a
It's
TikTok
crazy.
about that last night of
Did you?
loudly telling all your relatives that you're double fisting at every family outing for the foreseeable future after you get married. It's like, oh, are you having a drink? Are you gonna get? I'll have 2 of them and a shot while you're at it. Let's go. Come on.
Bring them on.
I saw some TikTok of that yesterday.
I'm glad to see.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Absolutely, Hawk, man.
Thank you.
See, even in the chat, Blue Fame says what? For the boys, like everybody's saying it right now, man. Like,
I love it.
The boy. Okay, I gotta ask a follow-up. We got names. Is he gonna be JJ?
No.
Okay.
We're probably getting rid of the J's because most of my family is J's. So we're probably going to go away from the trend. All right. Yeah. We have 2 names at the moment. I don't know if she wants me to say it on air, but I don't know how much.
When in doubt.
I really think about it. Is no.
100%.
I don't know if it really matters that much
100%
either.
right.
It matters because she might want to listen to us on this one.
Oh.
Don't tell us before you also tell the rest of your family about it.
No, we already have.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did?
But
About-
we just
about the
don't
name
know. It's like,
options?
yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
Omar or Raheem?
All right.
You got the O.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at an O.
I'll take a letter.
You'll take a letter? I'll take a
All
letter.
right.
too.
One name is an O. One name is a B.
Bowling. Bowling. I'm just
Bowling Hawkins. Ooh.
kidding. Justin probably wants less of me, not more of me in his
Yeah,
life.
everybody in the chat said, do not do it, Hawk. Don't do it.
When in doubt.
You got to give us more content down the line. You got to save the baby reveal
More
name at the
content.
hospital. Like,
Ramon's like, yes, an opportunity for content.
we're using this baby up. We're using your wedding. We're using everything,
true.
Will. We
That's
got
true.
a week out of my signing here. Or we're easily getting 2 weeks out of your wedding and another week out of his baby. 100%.
My wedding will be in, both of these things will be in June also, too. So this is summer content.
Oh, yeah.
It's a June baby?
Yeah. It's like the week after his wedding.
Hold up.
Yeah,
that's going to be.
We may or may not make it.
When do you find
It's going
out
to be the
gender?
Ramon show, just in studio by himself the week after I get
Put
married.
me
and
to
I'm on my
work,
honeymoon.
baby. Put me to work, baby, okay?
Which, by the way, I don't know if any of y'all were listening in the car. I know you were because you were on air when it happened. The new 3HL tradition of Ron Slay stepping back into the control room to produce and live host 3HL. I have not laughed that hard at something on this station in a really long time. Really long time.
He was a menace.
I would love to know the over-under of the amount of buttons Ron Slay pressed on those hotkeys during the 1 hour of 3HL on Christmas Eve. I know so many of you are probably with your families or at Christmas Eve services. It was terrific content. It was so funny.
Yes, it was. It got to a point where he was pushing so many buttons. I was like, Savage, why am I even on here right now? Like, he was answering.
let you cook.
Yes, he was. And I wasn't even mad at it. Like, Babsy wasn't around.
It
Him
was
and
really
Mayor
funny.
and friggin' Zeph.
We probably have enough buttons on here that you could make your own conversation just with the button.
He was. he did.
No,
it happened.
He did. I got.
Yeah.
Yes. All of them, man. By the way, Bustin came in with a beautiful name for you.
Man, hit
the
me.
B. Brickashaw Hawkins.
Reminds me of DeBrickashaw Ferguson from, was it Key and Peele?
DeBrickashaw Ferguson's a real name.
Ferguson's a real guy.
That's a real NFL.
I got his number in my phone. That's my dude.
No. Okay. So
Call
there's
him right
that.
now, says Justin.
Brick.
No, I'm kidding. Don't actually call him right
Brick.
now.
I'm telling you
We
right now,
can't do that.
you're a Key and Peele skit right now.
So what you're saying is
Yes. The
there's
Brickashaw's
a Key
a
and
real
Peele skit
person.
where
Hawkashaw.
I like it.
that's the name though.
Hawkashaw, I like it. He said it's an O, though.
Oh, yeah, he said O and B. That was the thing.
O and B. Omarion Hawkins.
You were not right.
A brother there.
Speaking of Omarians, he played for the Chargers in a 20-16 loss to the Houston Texans over the weekend. Who had the best win of the NFL weekend? Ramon, to me, it was Houston.
It was Houston.
Again,
to you.
C.J. Stroud started this game 4 of 4 for 142 with touchdown throws of 75 and 43 yards. The rest of the game, he was 12 of 24 for 102 and 2 picks, and they still found a way to win.
Yeah, they did.
That Houston defense is doing so much. The Texans don't even need to really be league average on offense. They just need to not royally screw it up. And that Texans defense, especially against an injured offensive line for the Chargers, elite right now.
Yeah.
And they got a chance to still win the division if the Titans give them some help this week.
Houston looked good. I got to give it to him, man. The best. I'm scanning through trying to see, okay, who did what this weekend? To me, is one, I will say, the way the Ravens just bodied the Packers. Oh, Lord.
What is
my.
your initial feeling on Ravens Steelers Sunday Night Football in Week 18, winner take all? As he puts his head in his hands.
Yeah, it's that. We had 2 weeks to get this done in Pittsburgh, and you squandered it away. And now we used to have this running joke in the building, and we said it all the time. We don't have to live every week like rock stars. We don't have to be Ozzy, okay? We don't have to be Kiss. We don't have to live, and we choose to live life this way, Will.
The thing that I hate about what the Steelers did yesterday is
Oh, my God.
you are giving the annoying Lions fan who got DK Metcalf suspended for 2 games
too.
satisfaction because That offense is not the same without DK Metcalf.
It's not even a shell.
It's a lot of dink and dunk. It's a lot of run game. It's a lot of just easy get the ball out. And then you need the explosive plays over the top to keep that defense honest from creeping up and just sitting in the box to take away that run game, to take away the quick throws. Without the threat of DK Metcalf over the top, the Steelers are not much on offense.
It's the threat. The threat is nowhere to be found without him out there, to your point.
Nowhere at all.
So how do I feel about it? If Derek is running like Derek did against Green Bay, pack it up.
Yeah, if the Ravens remember Derrick Henry's on their offense like they did this past weekend and not 2 weekends ago, you feel pretty good about the Ravens.
He
against
has
the Steelers
one game like that, I feel like a year, speaking of Derek, where he feels embarrassed. He got to go show the world who he is, and he did it. He had 2 fumbles the week before. Green Bay was the recipient of Derrick Henry revenge.
It was just 1 fumble, wasn't it?
Was it 1?
Yeah.
Or it's 2 straight weeks of fumbles is what it was.
He hadn't had one in a while. He had a lot at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
It kind of
I thought he went 2 back to back. I think they said he had 2 the week before.
I'll check.
Talking about the beginning?
Yeah.
It was Buffalo. He fumbled in Buffalo.
He fumbled.
And then there was the Lions.
So he had 2 back to back.
He had that was his first fumble since week 3.
Okay.
He only had 1 fumble.
He only had 1.
Against the Patriots.
Okay.
In the 28-24 loss.
Against Rabel of all people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When I look at Derrick, the Green Bay game is what I expect from him every single week, and that's probably so unfair.
It's 200 yards.
Yeah. Well,
career high in carries, 36 carries for 216 and 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
That's a pretty high expectation.
But my point of it is, as angry as he was and it's the way he ran. Not to your point.
You're expecting him on any given Sunday to be that.
To just
is what you're saying.
In the face every single time.
For sure.
To get back to the real, I'm uneasy about this upcoming week. Aaron Rodgers didn't play the way you needed him to. But the best win of the weekend, I thought, let me get to that answer too, is 49ers. That duel, that matchup.
Was really fun last night.
It was
really, really fun.
It was fun. A lot of credit goes to Purdy. He's a runner, or the offense is allowing him to escape. He's running into the end zone without Kittle. He found other answers too. The run game wasn't perfect. Christian McCaffrey, God. Oh,
and he did not look healthy at the end of that game either.
And that's his problem.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, man, my level of respect, and I feel like we both were on this page early, but my level of respect for Caleb Williams, immense.
He has got a ton of potential, and he's missing a lot of the easy throws.
Yeah.
Chris Collinsworth pointed it out on the broadcast last night. There were 3 or 4 wide open throws that he missed. But some of the 300-level stuff that he's completing down the field is really impressive.
He, to me, is a year ahead of where you want to see Cam at next year.
Totally agree. I think there are a lot of similarities between the way those 2 guys play in between the white lines. Now, in between the ears, they couldn't be more different.
Exactly.
As human beings.
Exactly.
Couldn't be more different. But I think as quarterbacks, there are a ton of similarities you can draw. And as far as organizations, Ryan Poles in Chicago and Mike Borgonzi in Tennessee, 2 leaders of the organization who come from very similar and really, not very similar, the same background.
The in between the ears thing too, like with Caleb, I'm seeing the calmness kind of be over him a little bit.
I didn't mean that
too.
as a negative on Caleb. They're just different.
Yes, they are. I 100% agree with you there.
There's different people.
But watching him, I'm like, if whoever the new head coach is, and I'll be respectful to the one guy that keeps saying is Mike McCoy, but if you can find your Ben Johnson,
then everything's on the table as far as competing in the AFC South in 2020.
Everything's on the table.
We're not talking Super Bowl or championship game, but
competing.
Regular season, competing in the division. Let's see what we got. And the Patriots showing again, and so the Bears. If you get it right with all the money you have and get the right coach for your young quarterback, you can rebuild this thing really pretty quickly. It doesn't need to take 3 or 4 years from now. We've already done a couple years of rebuilding at this point. You make all the right moves this offseason, all of a sudden, we're having very different conversations this time next year.
If the Patriots go into the playoffs without the number 1 overall bye, number 1 overall pick,
right,
and they lose,
how
much criticism will they get? because the conversation has been
question.
lightly held. Right. The only reason I bring that, I'm giving credit to them. They did exactly what their schedule, what they were supposed to do with it, and they got Buffalo also at some point in time this season. My point of it is they've only beat 2 teams, maybe 3, that's got winning records.
Well, and to that
on their
point,
schedule,
you
and
know
they're afforded that too.
You know who their projected matchup is in the first round of the playoffs?
No,
Buffalo.
Is it Buffalo?
2 versus 7 right now in the AFC would be Patriots hosting the Bills. A game Buffalo just won in New England.
Sure did.
I mean, the 7 seed right now, Ramon, is the 11-win Bills, who might be seen as the top contender in the AFC, and they're the worst seed right now because you don't know what you're going to get from Bo Nix or Drake May or Trevor Lawrence or Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson. Like, so many of these quarterbacks on these top 3, 4, 5 teams in the conference have major question marks. CJ Stroud's another one. It's like an elite defense. Is CJ Stroud, like, it's a quarterback game in the playoffs.
So, well, to your point, though, about those elite defenses, the question is, it's usually offense win games, defense win championships. Which version? Because I will say, having been in it, there's such a dramatic shift in thinking when you go into the playoffs.
No doubt.
It's so dramatic.
No doubt.
I think the Titans saw it against Cincy 21. Yeah. Like, what defenses mean and versus offenses in the playoffs, it's such a shift.
I think Brock Purdy is worth every cent of that contract. And I think some of the conversations around him and, they're just as good with Mac Jones. Brock Purdy doesn't deserve that contract. Just put Mac in there. Disrespectful. To, I think, the athlete that Brock Purdy is, to, I think, the processor that Brock Purdy is. His fit within that offense, I don't think could be any better. In his rollouts and his play action game and his ability to improvise. 18 of 24, 303, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns in this game where they were without George Kittle, where they were without, obviously, Brandon Ayuk, who's not been in the building all year. They're without a healthy McCaffrey late in this game. And Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth mentioned it on the broadcast. At what point, if you're Kyle Shanahan, do you have to say, all right, McCaffrey's not himself at this point of the game in the fourth quarter. Who else can I get open? In steps Juwan Jennings. Dig route, 38 yards, touchdown. That was as much, obviously, on Jennings making something out of very little. I'm not going to say nothing, but turning a mid-range play into an explosive one. But this was the first game in NFL regular season history that was tied at 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. Either of those teams could represent the NFC in the NFC Championship or in the Super Bowl, and I wouldn't be shocked.
Did you hear the broadcast that the fact that San Francisco won that, they're in a position to fight for the number 1 overall seed?
They could have the entire NFC playoffs go through Santa Clara, including the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Also, Brock Purdy finding who the heck is Jake Tonges?
Jake Tonges. Yes.
Without Kittle.
That's George Kittle's backup. I saw him at field level in Santa Clara. I was like, wow, this guy's pretty good.
He, being honest, is why, like, I question, do you sign Chick? Like I said, like, the tight end position is I think it's so congested of those guys waiting for breakout games.
Options.
And Chig is a great option for the Titans.
Fair. The question is Cam Brock Purdy? Not yet. Ooh. That's the point. That's why I want Chig back.
That's a hell of a question going into the break.
Yes, it is. 615-737-1045. Michigan made a hire. Tennessee was linked to a new quarterback in the transfer portal, and a big-time staff move got a little bit closer to happening for Tennessee. We'll hit the college football headlines starting locally with the Vols coming up next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Ramona Will rolls on in the second half for your Monday morning, the week where no one knows what day it is. And that's okay.
I'm all right with it.
Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, 615-737-1045. Pete Nakos of On3 is reporting what Austin Price and Brent Hubbs have been talking with us about for weeks at this point. Rodney Garner is trending back to Tennessee's 2026 coaching staff. Has been with the Vols since Josh Heupel took over the program in 2021. There was speculation as his contract was set to expire that he may join Alex Golish's staff at his alma mater at Auburn, that it may be a natural time to move on. Austin and Brent have been telling us for a while now that it seems to be in a good position. Yeah. And Ramon appears to have taken a step even further in that direction over the weekend. What does Rodney Garner bring to Tennessee football under Josh Heupel?
Validation, notoriety, reputation also is what he does, man. But not just that. He brings that grit that you need when you're looking for a guy that's got that old school flair about him in such a new school world of what college football is right now. Like, if you commit to Coach Rodney Garner, from my understanding, you understand you're going to be coached hard. You're going to be very disciplined. He's going to talk to you in a way that make you question life, but at the same time, he's going to love you. And anybody that's ever played for him or been coached by him, from my understanding, they always circle back to him, man. And I think as far as, Coach Knowles and what his defense is going to provide, I honestly think he and Rodney Garner would match up well for what the expectation of what a defensive lineman should be in that style of defense. Discipline is the other portion of it. I think the most important part that Coach Knowles' defense is said to bring and what Rodney Garner's defensive lines are known for.
How do you think the front seven's responsibilities will change in Jim Knowles' defense? How will the defensive line position look different for Tennessee football?
I think you'll end up having just more variations of what they're capable of doing. I'm not sure as far as personnel if they're going to go to more multiple and attacking with discipline. I don't know if he's going to go search for the 320-pound defensive lineman. Maybe that is something that changes under Coach Rodney Garner, because he's more into, if you look at his guys, smaller attacking upfield guys.
Quickness up front,
yes,
for sure.
And everybody that they've gotten, to their credit, Coach Gardner's credit, they've been 4-star, 5-stars that have panned out and done well in that defense too. But I'm not sure if they're going to go to the, Jordan Davises. Right. And I'd love to see that. It will be interesting to see if they do mesh that up, because that is the one side I think that defense may need, is guys that can plug the run and gotta have it moments, especially into what this new SEC has kind of turned into. Like, you just need more. I think sometimes in size, you get durability when you match it up with athleticism. And when you got to play in the SEC or just football in general, and you got quick twitch, smaller defensive linemen, you can kind of get worn down a little bit.
Well, and ask Jeffrey Simmons what it's meant to him. To be able to sustain his entire season this year. And he said last week, like, I feel as good as I've ever felt in week 17. And what being more athletic and a bit trimmer has done for him.
Yeah.
Albeit different, NFL versus college lineman. But I do think your point's a very valid one, that you're able to get a little more athletic, a little bit smaller up front in that way. Maybe you're more the best version of yourself late in the season.
Yeah. So, Coach Gardner being a part of the staff, I think, is automatic. But, of course, this is going to be Coach Knowles' staff. And he, I would think, will have his hands all over this one and who he picks to stay and who may end up leaving. I think it was Austin Price that came on with us that was, asking the question, is he going to be a walk-around coach, or does he become the linebacker coach again? So what does that mean for Coach Inge? You know what I'm saying? And others that are in that conversation, I do think when you look at the secondary side of what the Vols defense has been as of late, like individually, guys have done their thing. Colton Hood coming in, potentially been a first-round to early second-round type guy. Jamal McCoy, who didn't play this year. Ricky Gibson that comes back next year.
Yeah.
And also Ty Redmond, like, they got the guys to go play and play man, but the portion of that defense to me that needs fixing and just it's the communication. And boy, we're going to have to donate at some point, because getting a good safety is paramount for that team, man.
The middle of the field defense just wasn't good enough for Tennessee.
And that's where, do you have Coach Knowles, Jim Knowles, the new defensive coordinator, coach linebackers? Or was he, was Coach Inge restricted because of the way the structure or non-structure was under Coach Tim Banks?
And you're going to have a new starting inside linebacker with Arion Carter going to the NFL as well.
By the way, if his folks is listening, congratulations to y'all. That young man did 3 and was done.
Absolutely. He's been a model citizen since the second he stepped on campus, on and off the field. Arion Carter is everything that you love about SEC and college football.
Yes, he is, man.
He's as good as it gets.
I don't think people understand being a 3-flat guy in 3 years, what I mean, draft eligible and leave, that says a lot. And also, I take a lot of pride in that, too. Not him, but just the fact that he's from Tennessee and how Tennessee has been criticized. Y'all don't have athletes. You don't have this. That's a homegrown young man that's done 3 years and potentially going to turn himself into a probably second, third round pick and go play a good bit in this NFL league.
As athletic as he is, he's going to have an opportunity, I think, as a sub-package linebacker and special teamer to contribute right away.
Absolutely.
And over the course of his rookie contract, earn a starting role. The same way, honestly, former Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman yesterday for the Saints.
Yeah.
Made some plays as the third linebacker behind Demario Davis and Pete Werner. I think Danny Stutzman's better than Werner, to be fair. I think you should probably give him more run if you're New Orleans, but
walking him into
they'll have the ability to do a lot more of that in the future. And Arion's, I think, lining up for a similar type role.
I wasn't sure where you finna go, but what's the name brings up a good point. Emmett. The portal opens January 2nd.
Yep.
In a YouTube chat.
Closes on the 16th.
I wonder how soon as teams are announcing who's coming back to school or re-signing. How much of this bowl season is also contract negotiations for these players? All of it is.
It's been going on since the second the Tennessee Vandy game ended.
Can you imagine?
No. I mean, it's the reason why so many coaches would rather be coordinators than G5 or low P4 head coaches. And it's why so many of them, it's why Jeff Hafley left Boston College to be the defensive coordinator of the Packers.
That's just a wild world, and the longer we get, though, too, I wonder what's going to happen with a guy like Lance Hurd, too. We hadn't heard his declaration.
Still waiting, because Josh Josephs is out of the bowl game and going pro.
Late last week is when
Colton Hood announced also. Lance Hurd's kind of the last big domino that's got to fall.
Colton Hood, I loved his graphic, too, that was done online. He had major Vols on there, but representation of who was it? Jackson State and also Colorado too.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool by him, man. But that's the world that the portal has provided to a lot of people, and there's benefits to it.
Sources tell On3 that UNLV quarterback Anthony Colandrea is expected to command significant power for interest. Florida State has started to surface, according to On3's Pete Nakos, who also writes, keep an eye on Tennessee as well. Colandrea completed 275 of 417 passes this season for Dan Mullen's UNLV Runnin' Rebels, 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 66% completion percentage, in addition to 649 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He is a St. Petersburg, Florida native, played 1 year for Dan Mullen at UNLV, has played against Tennessee in a backup role where he was thrust in quickly due to injury when Virginia opened the 2023 season against Joe Milton and the Vols the last time Tennessee played in Nissan Stadium, where, of course, they'll play tomorrow. Colandrea started 2 seasons for Virginia, has 32 games of starting experience as he enters the transfer portal as Mountain West Player of the Year this past season. He started 11 games at Virginia in 2024, completing 62% of his passes, 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 11 picks, while running for 277 and 2 scores on the ground. That was after starting 6 games and playing in 8 in 2023, where he completed, again, 62.5% of his passes for 1,900 yards, 13 touchdowns, 9 picks. I just gave you the rundown. That would be his full one-sheet resume if he was turning it into Josh Heupel in Tennessee football. What intrigues you? What do you like or not like about Anthony Colandrea as a transfer portal quarterback option for Tennessee?
What I like about him, experience, veteran. I think that plays a part in it too. I loved how everybody was losing their mind on social media about him committing the day before to UNLV and then absolutely jumping into the portal the next day. Oh, it was messy on social media for him. I'll be quite honest with you. Other than his ability to be good with the ball and knowing how to sling it, I'm not overly excited. The 13 and 11 kind of gets to me.
13 touchdowns, 11 picks
interceptions.
At University of Virginia.
And at 6 foot, like, I'm not sure how fast he is, but for a guy that's 6 foot, I almost feel like you have an expectation of having to run the football more, and only accumulating about 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground doesn't convince me that you're a dynamic player that is going to come in and be a starter for you.
He was last year. He almost had 700 rushing yards last season at UNLV. Does the level of competition kind of diminish that for you?
Him being at UNLV?
Yeah.
I think UNLV plays a fair schedule.
Okay,
I think it's very competitive.
I mean, then I think he's a runner.
You
I think that's what
runner?
stands out. He's more of a runner than what Joey Aguilar was this season, and definitely more than what Nico was.
I have to go watch his tape just a little bit more, but the numbers just don't jump out for me. Now, if he's coming in a reserve role and competing.
3,500 yards and over 4,000 total yards this past season doesn't jump out to you?
This past season at 3,500?
Yeah, he had 4,000 total yards this season, number 3 in the country.
What stat line was I looking at there?
You're looking at his UVA stats.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This past season, Anthony
23
Colandrea
so he's constantly gotten better.
He completed 66% of his passes, ranked number 3 in the country in total offense with 4,108 yards for Dan Mullen's UNLV Running Rebels.
I could ride with that, Dan.
I
looked
wonder,
at his sophomore stats.
Okay, that's what I thought, because what you were saying wasn't lining up.
Yeah, I looked at his sophomore stats.
The take on it.
I can be convinced on him, but he got to be good with the ball in his hand, meaning keep it out of harm's way with fumbles if you are going to be running it.
I'm curious if that's maybe where Tennessee's offense tries to go next. Can you get more of an athlete at the quarterback position and lean into the quarterback run game? Can we play a little bit more 11 on 11 in the run game and in the RPO game?
Because we've been more of a drop-back team.
Because Tennessee being named as a team to watch does not necessarily mean that Tennessee is in on him. It could mean that Pete Nakos and representation for Colandrea are linking a guy to Tennessee. Like, I don't want to read too much into this, Ramon, because this is silly season in transfer portals, and until the portal really opens, we're not going to know until guys start taking visits who really is at the top of the list. That being said, though, I'm curious if more of an athletic profile and runner at quarterback is where Josh Heupel tries to go to tweak this offense a little bit.
That's what everybody else in the SEC has right now. Literally.
I mean, nearly 700 yards rushing is a significant change from what you had in Joey Aguilar this season.
Who doesn't have a runner right now? Pribula, who's left already.
Pribula's a runner.
That's what I'm saying. He was a runner. He's gone, though. Now, Lenoris, DJ.
There's not really a statue quarterback that's in the SEC right now. I mean, I guess you could say Julian Sayin is one at Ohio State. He also has a guy named Jeremiah Smith to throw to and another one named Carnell Tate. Both of those guys are going to be first-round picks.
The offense has to change. Is it through the legs? But here's the thing. You've recruited, and I know it don't matter these days, you've recruited pure throwers. George, Faison, both not the top of the top athletically, but
I think they're pretty good athletes.
They are, but
like
when you talk
they're
about
not 700 rushing yards worth of athletes.
Like, he's a runner.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he does. A Trinidad Chambliss.
Threw for 35. Like, that to me is what this reminds me of.
Yes, it does.
This kind of is a Trinidad Chambliss type of athlete at quarterback.
With these numbers, his mark is going to be way hotter than what Trinidad Chambliss was.
On three's Pete Nakos reporting over the weekend, Florida State has started to surface. Sources have cautioned that other schools are heavily in the mix. Keep an eye on Tennessee, too, were his exact words. 615-737-1045 is the number. Michigan hired Kyle Whittingham. There was an interesting column from Andy Staples at On3 about a coach who Kyle Whittingham has to thank for the reason why he's the Michigan's coach now. It's a little outside the box, but the more I read it, the more I think it makes sense. Why Kyle Whittingham should thank Curt Cignetti for his new contract. We'll talk about it next. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up hour number 3. Our friend Vandy Chris on YouTube at the F&M Bank chat, Ramon, says, what does it say about Tennessee and their quarterback development system that they are QB shopping in the portal? To me, it says that they are as good at developing transfer quarterbacks as any program in the country, and that Josh Heupel recognizes the standard and the expectation on 2026, and that a guy named James Franklin just took his team to the playoff semifinal and was fired a year later. Yeah. If you don't do your due diligence and look at what's out there, you are opening yourself up to one bad season, turning up the heat of your seat from 0 to 100 real quickly. You've got to do your due diligence in the portal. It may not bring anybody in, but you got to look.
Like, Chris, I don't feel like Vandy Chris has been, malicious in bringing that up.
No, it's a valid question.
It is a valid question because they've recruited high-caliber rated guys. I'll just go that part. We're not sure what they are.
Yeah.
But the thing that, I take from that question is the answer that Tony Vitello gave on 3HL. He said, this was last week, I think they had him in impromptu, crazy too, by the way, just in the Gulch.
Yeah.
He said, I don't think we realize this, but every year we're all on one-year deals.
100%. When the players are all on one-year deals, the coaches kind of are too.
It's that.
And they have to have 3 scholarship quarterbacks. So they're always going to go get a transfer quarterback because you got to have another option to your 2 guys who have not really played legitimate college football yet.
So the question, I guess, that should be given back to, I guess, Vandy and anybody else, to Chris, is this. How forgiving are you as a fan, as a school, as a staff?
Wait for a quarterback to get better.
Waiting for a quarterback to get better.
Yeah.
Because, Chris, to your point, if that's the case, then you should have played a high school recruit instead of going to get Diego Pavia.
Yeah, right. Diego Pavia is the best example of why you go get an experienced old quarterback.
And I know what he means
and
by that.
And Vandy should go do that again this offseason, by the way.
And there's only so many schools that are allowed to have their freshman quarterbacks play. Who's the quarterback at Ohio State? Is that those situations where the team is strong enough to support a freshman play a part in. We're watching in real time right now a quarterback being developed at Florida, DJ Lagway, perennial 5-star. That just hit the portal because it wasn't soon enough.
Right.
He didn't save, and I put it on him. I put it on everybody involved. There wasn't enough winning to save Billy Napier's job. And maybe it was Billy Napier, then it was them.
Sure.
But to your point about developing a quarterback in today's world, it ain't many that are getting that grace. Look, okay, to that point, the phenom of them all. Look how much of an issue Arch Manning had to wait and develop before you finally saw it.
Right.
There was a lot of questions about Sarkisian and Arch.
And he got
Texas.
better as the season went.
So,
it took a lot of time.
That's the issue that you're running into.
Right. It's not that Josh Heupel can't develop high school quarterbacks. He has a history of doing that as well, between Dylan Gabriel, who played for him at UCF right away as a freshman.
In the old ways of playing college
as an
football.
offensive coordinator at Missouri, but those days are gone. And George McIntyre is going into his second season in the program. Faison Brandon into his first. You have to get a transfer quarterback.
Titanomics said, and you just said it too, it's rare to start freshmen and sophomores.
Pete Nakos linking Tennessee to Anthony Colandrea. They may not even have him on their radar.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we got to keep our powder dry before we react and have these hot takes about, why are they shopping for one? Because they have to. And they have to have 3 scholarship quarterbacks with the amount of pressure on Josh Heupel in 2026.
The last comment, Bryce Underwood, speaking of Michigan, this comment on the YouTube said he kind of sucked this year too.
He was up and down. He had nobody to throw to either.
But you putting that on somebody that's in a position of being a freshman playing, there's a lot that goes into that.
Chris hit us back up and said he has to go get guys that have already been developed by others. No, I don't think that's a fair way to look at it because how much did Hendon Hooker's development at Virginia Tech help him at Tennessee?
That's true.
How much did Joe Milton's development by others? He wasn't developed by others. Josh Heupel's the one that developed Joe Milton.
So let's go here
Not
then.
Michigan.
Okay, so did LSU with Joe Burrow. show us Lane Kiffin this past year.
So did Clark Lee, Jerry Kill, and Tim Beck with Diego Pavi.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who else is in this?
So did Missouri with Bo Prabula, who was at Penn State.
Miami with Carson Beck.
And Cam Ward. Welcome to college football in 2025 and 26.
At first I said you wasn't being malicious. Now it's almost just
we gotta be able to take off the black and gold glasses.
We can separate the Tennessee Vandy thing for a little bit and be real about where the state of college football quarterbacking is.
Right.
Like, so is Duke with the $4.5 million quarterback that they have with Darian Mensah.
100%.
There's nobody.
John Mateer at Oklahoma.
Auburn, and who's the quarterback this past year?
Jackson Arnold. And Ashton Daniels. Yeah.
We can keep going. There's who's playing their guy? Ohio State and Michigan. Currently?
Julian Sayin, transfer from Alabama.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Right.
It's
only 1 year there, but still.
Yeah. No. He was likely developed.
Everyone's developing someone else's original talent, but you get credit for that development.
Tyler Shuck at Louisville. Everybody's doing this game now.
Speaking of Bryce Underwood, Michigan hired Kyle Whittingham over the weekend, working to put together quite a staff as well with Utah OC Jason Beck, the Michigan OC top name, BYU DC Jay Hill. A big target for Kyle Whittingham as well. He is 66 years old, Ramon. And Andy Staples, I thought, had a great column at On3.com about Curt Cignetti being the model for success here. Kyle Whittingham has Curt Cignetti to thank for this contract. He was 62 when he was hired at Indiana. And all of a sudden, they're the 1 seed in the college football playoff. Ramon, is it fair to say that age of coaches matters less than ever? Because the time it takes to rebuild a program is shorter than ever.
Absolutely. You got to go with a guy that understands his method and somewhat can settle your foundation back down. And that's what he is going to be to Michigan.
And especially in late December, when your options are guys who have not been head coaches before, I think this makes a ton of sense.
100%.
Ton of sense for them.
As much turmoil as they have, as much credit that their AD, athletic director, needs right now, too, as far as getting an adult in the room with all the issues they've had on the coaching staff. He's coming from Utah. He's coached amazing over there. I think he's had numerous 10-win seasons. He's won the division numerous times in the Mountain West and also the Pac-12 too. To me, he might not be the final guy, Will, but he's the guy to get them to where they want to make the next step, because this has been a fast, chaotic coaching search for them.
100%.
And he makes the most sense in my personal opinion. His biggest issue he's going to have, maybe when it comes down to it, the age of it, maybe. And coming from the West Coast, coaching in the Northeast, I guess, Midwest. One of the comments I saw on him being hired was one of the recruits asking, I don't even know who he is. But I think that's more logistics than it is almost anything else.
Yeah, he's recruited a different area of the country.
Totally different area.
For sure. Kyle Whittingham, 177 at 88 in 21 seasons at Utah. 13-0 in 08, 66.8% win percentage, which qualifies him for the College Football Hall of Fame as well. I think it makes a ton of sense. I think at the very least, you are then handing off the baton at the start of the exchange zone, not the end, the next time you hire a head coach.
Yep.
And if the worst case scenario for Michigan is that Kyle Whittingham is just what he has been at Utah, which, by the way, I think is the floor of what he's going to be, because he's got way more resources at Michigan than he ever had at Utah. If he's just what he was at Utah, conference championship level, one out of every 2-3 years, consistently solid, never too much worse than 8-4, maybe not a ton better than 10-2, which 10-2 in the Big Ten gets you in the playoff. I think at the very least, if he's there for 4 years and is just what he has been in the past for the next 4 years, then you're putting yourself in a really good position to elevate Michigan football beyond that point. I think, too, just the kind of person Kyle Whittingham seems to be, Ramon, this is an athletic department that has had a lot of controversy and a lot of trouble. This is a culture stabilizer and builder that kind of cleans up your image a little bit. And I think for Michigan right now, that's pretty important.
Michigan's just soft dating right now.
In the same way that Tennessee, after NCAA trouble from Donnie Tyndall, went and got Rick Barnes. And Rick Barnes stabilized Tennessee basketball and was supposed to just be a bridge coach, older, later in his career, to go be there for a couple years and make it a better place for the next guy. Sometimes the bridge coach with better resources and the willingness to adapt ends up being a championship-level coach. And I think Kyle Whittingham can be a championship-level coach at Michigan.
I mean, with those resources, one thing Utah's always been physical. They've always put players in the league.
Always.
Development.
100%.
So player first being
You're
a
right.
huge part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part is the team first component.
Yep.
They got to get back to that.
615-737-1045. Speaking of trajectories of teams and trending in the right direction, how has the trajectory and overall feeling around the future of the Tennessee Titans changed in the month of December? Mike McCoy was asked about that yesterday. I thought he gave a very interesting answer that you'll hear next.
9:03, good morning. Live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans fall to the Saints on Sunday, 34-26. It dropped to 3-13 on the season. Cam Ward threw for 251 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Ward now goes over 3,000 passing yards for the season, which marks a franchise record for a Titans rookie. On the defensive side, Jeffrey Simmons registered his 10th sack of the season, which marks the first time that he's gotten double-digit sacks in a season in his career. Also, Titans rookie returner Chimere Dike set the NFL record for all-purpose yards in a rookie season with 2,371 yards, which passes Tim Brown's mark that he set back in 1988. And the New England Patriots, who destroyed the Jets 42-10 yesterday, locked up the AFC East title for the first time since 2019 after the Bills suffered a 13-12 loss to the Eagles yesterday. Tonight, Kirk Cousins, the Falcons, host Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams for Monday Night Football. Kickoff at 7:15 on ESPN, or again catch Westwood One's call right here on 104.5 The Zone. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour of Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone and Zone TV. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. He is the NFL vet, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins hitting all the right buttons. I'm Will Bowling. Coming up in 15 minutes, an NFL Week 17 recap. It was a good weekend to be a former Titan. And many of them successful, both with clipboards, with quarterback wristbands, and running backs, all of these things.
Backup roles.
All right, we were having a nice time. So let's get back to Titans and Saints. Saints 34, Titans 26. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I saw the graphic of how good would this version of the Titans be, and it was Vrabel, AJ, Malik, and who else am I missing? Oh, Derek.
Well, considering that the Titans used one of the picks in the A.J. Brown trade to draft Malik Willis, that is legitimately impossible.
They also had Delaney Walker on that one.
Delaney Walker?
Yeah. That was
in this economy?
That was the tight end.
In the year of our Lord, 2025?
Yeah, as soon as I saw Malik and Delaney Walker, I was out.
I love Delaney Walker, but like on this team right now?
That's love and punishment is what
Delaney Walker's looking around doing that gif of like, me? Like with a little Sasquatch getting drafted by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
In that skit that's very gifable.
All it is, some people just like living in the darkness, Will. That's all it is, man, from time to time.
If it gets you clicks on Twitter, makes you a couple dollars,
then do it, right? Yeah.
Mike McCoy was asked about the trajectory of the Titans organization. Gentry Estes asked this from the Tennessee end of a couple of people that spoke post-game. I thought it was a good question. I think it is a good topic. I think it's one we can spend more time on tomorrow. Mike McCoy asked, where have you seen growth? How has the overall trajectory of this franchise's future changed in the month of December, albeit in a defeat still, that trend continuing, 34-26 to the Saints yesterday? So Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy.
Well, I think, if you look at how we played the last month of the season, really, I think you can see the growth of the team, being 2-1 heading into this game, going to Cleveland, getting the win. Unfortunately, we came up short in San Francisco, and then they had the phenomenal game last week in Kansas City. And that was, you see the way the entire team played and the way we started playing today. I think there's so many positives you look at. We knew it was going to be challenging throughout the year and how it was going to go. It's hard to win in the NFL, but I think you see the way Cam's starting to play and the more plays he's making. I mean, you got Jeff on defense. I mean, you can't build. I mean, he's the pillar of the defense, and the way he played once again today, it's week in and week out. I think there's been a lot of growth this year on the team, and it's great there's a bright future here. You look at it in the amount of snaps these rookies have played. You're just speaking offensively. Cam is playing with the three rookies with him in the skilled positions, and it's that those snaps are invaluable for their futures. And the amount of snaps Cam's gotten this year and the way he's improved. So it's only going to help the organization, Cam, the offense. And then you look at the amount of plays really in the secondary part of it of Marcus and Kevin. And unfortunately, they both got dinged and they're not playing right now. But and you look at Marcus, both those guys really at playing not just one position, but two positions. So I think you look at this rookie class and you say, this is a really good group moving forward, and give Mike and the whole staff credit for the guys we brought in here to help us get to where we are today. So they've got a really, really bright future. And the thing I love about them too is that they truly love the game. They are the first ones in, the last ones to leave often. And you guys wrote the article early about Cam being here bright and early. And obviously that's how they all are. I mean, you walk in, by a room late at night sometimes, and they're all sitting in there watching tape. So they've all got a really bright future, and it's great to see.
Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy speaking yesterday. Ramon, has the Titans' trajectory as an organization changed in the month of December?
Has the trajectory changed? I want to say yeah, but it's still yet to be seen. I'll say this. The optimism about what these guys can provide to you as players moving forward, yes, that has. Chimere Dike is here to stay in the league at a minimum of 5 years.
Which rookie all-purpose yard record set in NFL history yesterday.
Big time. Alec Ayumana is another one of those guys you say, I don't know which wide receiver he'll be, but his ability to make plays has been shown. Gunnar Helm, the other playmaker that's a rookie that Coach McCoy spoke about. Yes, you see some flavor in what he has in this game. And, of course, Cam. It's just that there's such a need for a veteran presence on this team, though, too, that I think is necessary. And I kind of want to see where those guys get into the mix at some point. And the only reason I bring that up is I feel like you're steady just, plowing and digging dirt and pouring concrete when you don't have guys that are legitimate threats that are vets on your team, though, too. Now, only thing that I would say to that is, the guys that are supposed to be the legitimate threats, the offensive line, they have, as of late, shown themselves to be, very capable of owning games from time to time. I do think there's a component to the skill side of this that one of those guys will get left in the dust and offensively. Now, if that means Chimere Dike being more of a special teamer and not an offensive guy, fine. He's a Pro Bowler at this point. I wonder how you carve out a role moving forward for Alec Ayumana, right? That, to me, is where I say, okay, how much has to be made on his career moving forward? Because I think when you look at that position, he's probably, as it stands now, a 3 more than a 1 or a 2.
Agreed.
Okay.
I think Alec Ayumana could be at the ceiling of his career. You hope that he could maybe turn into a Jawan Jennings. I'm not saying he is close to that now. I think there is the ability for him to be a nasty run blocker, physical, big target, combat catcher on third down when you got to have it, the way he was yesterday when Cam scrambled and needed an option, and there's Alec. I think their skill sets are similar in that way.
And there's also the only issue that you have with, saying the trajectory is high for those guys is the second-year adjustment that they're going to have, and also what kind of offense is going to be friendly to giving those guys the football.
Sure. Yeah, to me, I think the Titans' trajectory is trending in the right direction because Cam Ward is trending in the right direction. To me, those two, that question is the same question as, has Cam Ward's trajectory changed? Because right now, with where the Tennessee Titans are in their rebuild, Cam Ward's success and future and trajectory is the same as the Titans' future and success and trajectory. Because if Cam Ward is starting to play better, all of a sudden a higher quality candidate pool of coaches want to be here. All of a sudden, a higher quality free agent pool wants to be here. And all of a sudden, you have a chance in a division that all of a sudden looks pretty good. Cam Ward has 4 straight games with multiple passing touchdowns. That is the longest streak for the Titans since Ryan Tannehill's 5-game streak in 2020. He is the only rookie number 1 overall pick to have 4 consecutive games with multiple passing touchdowns since Baker Mayfield in 2018. Those two are the only rookie number 1 overall pick quarterbacks to have 4 straight games with multiple passing touchdowns since the merger in 1970. Mm-hmm. There is no question. Cam Ward was far from perfect yesterday, but he is getting better. And as a result, to me, the trajectory of this franchise has gotten better because of him.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I think as long as I'm doing this job and they're both in the league, I'm going to compare him to your point about his trajectory and projection. Cam Ward's, that is, to Caleb's. You know what's fascinating?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yeah. I feel like we're almost cousins at this point as much as I dropped his name. You know what's fascinating? His completion percentage is down from last year.
It is.
Just looking at the box score.
It is.
Just looking at the stats.
Like 61%?
He was 62.5% his rookie year.
Yeah.
This year he's 57.9.
Yeah, right. He's not a finished product either.
No, he's not, but I'm just looking at, like, we want the gradual progress. Now, the only reason I bring that up, though, too, is there's twofold for how that can go down. One, does Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears care about his completion percentage, or do they care about his efficiency?
Well,
what
and
I mean
how many
by that
sacks
is,
he's taking.
Yes. Is he throwing the football away?
It's that part of it, because he took the most sacks of anybody in the NFL last
68.
year. 68. Yeah, how many of those 68 sacks could have been throwaways and made that 63% completion percentage closer to 58 also?
He's down 45 sacks this year so far.
There you go.
To 68 to 23.
To me, that's your difference in completion percentage right there.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of the ball.
Because I think we will all, say he's more efficient with the football.
100%.
So that, to me, is where I look to that point about where's Cam progress moving forward. Will he get in an offense that makes him throw the football away and say, screw that completion percentage and your Hall of Fame numbers in order for us to win?
Sure. We'll look around the NFL and Week 17 results when we come back. Plus, there was a question we asked earlier in the show. How do you teach Cam not to get big play happy? Will hit us up on Twitter and had a really interesting response to that I want to dive into as well, coming up next. Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, at Ramon and Will on Twitter, where you follow us. And wherever you download podcasts, available on Apple, Spotify, 1045thezone.com. Going to go through some NFL Week 17 scores and headlines. But first, I wanted to go back to a conversation we had in hour 2, Ramon, because we asked a question that I thought elicited a very interesting response from Will Lomas at JLomas72 on Twitter. We asked, prefaced it by saying, Cam Ward said he got big play happy yesterday. How do you teach him not to play that way? And Will quote tweeted us. Will, smart guy on Twitter, at JLomas72, I think a good Twitter follow, Titans fan on there, says, you don't. You find him playmakers instead of trying to neuter your gunslinger quarterback.
Ooh.
What do you think about that?
I personally don't trust in that just yet. You know why? I'll go case in point right here instead of trying to neuter a guy. There are big playmakers in Philly. One in particular by the name of A.J. Brown that wants the big play all the time. And, like, it's not a sustainable way of living is what I'm saying. Like, you can't thrive off of he's down there somewhere. 50-50 balls are just that, right? They're 50%. You might go 0-4 in a game, and you might go 4 for 4 the next game. That's so inconsistent. It's not like if that's the case, you don't neuter him. Like the question I have is what happens when he's got to have it and the defense is just good enough to lock him down or keep him in a box or cage rush him where you send Chase Young all the way around him and Granderson up the middle and you box him in. Like that to me is inconsistent. And there's one thing that teams, athletes, coaches, and I think fans need, and that's consistency. You know whenever your team is going to get the ball, they have the ability to run or you're going to connect on plays. There's a method of operating. Imagine your household not having like a structure. That's it. That's the analogy. Like you live in a house that have structure. Offenses have to also have that same structure too. And that's where I kind of sit with Cam. Like I said, I had this conversation last night specifically about Patrick Mahomes. And the only reason you have that conversation because you look at what Brock Purdy's turned into. He's in no way Patrick Mahomes. But what Patrick Mahomes had was a year of development. And also, if you look at what Kansas City does when they are fire hot, Travis Kelce settling over the middle, getting open.
He's checking the ball down a lot.
There's a drag route.
The deep balls make highlights.
Oh, my gosh.
He also had to understand how to get rid of the ball and avoid the big negative plays.
Look at the amount of wide receiver screens they throw to the edge. Like, we look at his completion percentage and, like, the ball leaving his hand and going to his wide receivers. But Patrick ain't doing a lot of the work.
And there are a lot of runs in those run-pass options as well.
Come on, man.
Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco and at a time Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, a lot of different Carson Steele, like a lot of different backs that have been still the foundation of that offense.
Because when it gets tight and you got to get a defense and got to have it moment, your quarterback kind of needs to be in a box when you got to have it. Like we're talking about is 3rd and 6, and you need those yards right there. Like the structure of that isn't allowing him to run side to side. The structure of that is my guy's running a route. He's going to sit down. I got to get the ball right here. If he's not here, I'm looking left and it's right here. Like the 1, 2, 3 option that you got to have got to be in place before you allow him to do everything else. Like just look at the development of the quarterbacks in this league that have become really good. Why are we bragging about Brock Purdy? Because he's got an offense that allows him to be good.
Well, and I think that structure is that system is so QB friendly.
It is.
The Shanahan system. It's not taking anything away from Brock Purdy. I just said 30 minutes ago that he's worth every penny of that contract, but he's also a really good fit in an offense that takes pressure off of the quarterback, both literally and figuratively, and allows you to manage the game and get it from point A to point B in a way that is simple.
You know who's won a Super Bowl by staying in the structure? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts a year ago.
Yes.
Proved that you can be a pretty good quarterback, make the right decisions with a good defense, a good line, and the best running back in football last season. So again, what matters to you? Would you rather the quarterback lead the way and be the guy, or do you want to surround a quarterback with so much that they can't do anything but succeed?
So is that too.
I think the Titans find success in 2026 by doubling down on the run game first and allowing Cam Ward to grow as that gets better. I think that is the skill position that you need to invest heavily in. And I think the Titans should be right there in the thick of the Breece Hall sweepstakes.
I think that can make sense.
Breece Hall was going to want to need to be a Titan.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the prerequisite. Just because you want Breece Hall doesn't mean he's going to want you.
This is true.
Just because you want Alontae Taylor doesn't mean he's going to want you. Like, obviously it's a two-way street, but we are seeing Cam Ward's development happen because they can run the ball and because they're not consistently in third and long. When you ask Cam Ward to have to play backyard football over and over and over, you force mistakes. Cam probably should have had 2 interceptions yesterday.
Yeah.
Cam also gave up a touchdown to the other team because he was trying to improvise so much that Chase Young ripped the ball away from him and took it to the house. That's not all on Cam. Chase Young made a play. But you are susceptible to moments like that when you are constantly asking your quarterback to dance around NFL athletes and make the big play happen over and over. I do not think that you get the best out of Cam Ward by asking him to be more of a magician. I think you get the best out of Cam Ward by narrowing down the times when he is allowed to be a magician.
Yes. We're gonna have this conversation probably tomorrow or sometime going into this offseason, probably numerous times of what offense works better for Cam or what could. Now, here's the thing that you will have, though, too. These offenses that Cam will have the ability to play in, you would hope, will have, like, hard options. This is where you go and this is it. And I think there's benefit in that because when you get an understanding of this is where the ball goes, then you go back to film and be like, well, coach, that guy was up. Exactly. Mm-hmm. There are layers to developing a guy and not neutering him. Like the portion and the excitement of guys being themselves, like Josh Allen, for instance. Oh, my gosh. Speaking of going around the NFL, that game that they had last night against a real good defense in Philadelphia took Josh Allen's eccentric way of playing, and I'm only using this word because it's brought up, and not being neutered as a quarterback, screwed him over when it came time for him to throw a out route to his wide receiver to go win the game.
Yep.
The settling of his feet.
Yeah.
Hitting a guy that's wide open going into the flats.
He's looking to do too much on a play-by-play basis.
That's what being free and willy-nilly with the ball will do to you.
Yeah.
Is you got to get to the structure of playing quarterback. And I still think Josh Allen needs to get to that point. I still don't think he's there, even though he's league MVP.
Well, and to Josh Allen's defense also, who does he have in that offense?
That's very fair.
Other than James Cook at running back and a couple of pretty good tight ends that allow him to just do less and manage the game. He doesn't have near as much to work with as some of these other guys we're talking about, like Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy.
But I guess to bring it back to that point, though, Josh Allen making that pass to win the game is quarterbacking one-on-one.
It is. It totally is. Back of the end zone, wide open.
Why I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 steps. Yeah, he knew it instantly. But of course, with him running outside of the pocket and not having his feet set and not having his shoulder square and throwing to the guy, like he knew that. I ain't gonna say he lost that game. There was a lot of plays that ended up losing it. But like that moment, he gonna eat that one for a while.
Yeah. I think with Cam, I mean, we can have the conversation about like, you're neutering him or whatever, to the commenter's point on Twitter. The Chiefs game didn't look like neutering Cam.
No.
Looks like when you needed him to make a play, he made it. But also the run game allowing you to be in third and manageable and be in spots where you could run on third down and it be successful.
It's wide open.
It allows your offensive line a better chance at protecting your quarterback. And Bucket hit us up and said, competent line first, then you get the playmakers. Honestly, I think you've seen a competent line over this month. Now, they got to do it for a full season. I think you are seeing J.C. Latham play better.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Skoronski, I think, is at a Pro Bowl level. I think you're probably going to have a new center and a new right guard next season. You're probably going to still roll with Dan Moore at left tackle. I think the line struggles are as much a Cam Ward quarterback development problem as it is an offensive line development problem. Once Cam started to learn how to get the ball out on time, those sack numbers have gone down significantly.
They have.
And not to say this line is perfect. Again, I just said they're going to probably need 40% of it to look brand new next season. However, I don't think the line is the number one thing that's got to be fixed. I think you are in the position to go get 2 receivers, a running back, maybe a tight end, and a couple of linemen. And all of a sudden now we can start having conversations about, can you be New England or Chicago level right away? That's asking a lot, but 2 teams this season have proven it's possible.
There's a pathway to it, though, too, because not minimizing what the Patriots have done, because they've won and they've won big. They beat a couple of good teams.
Taking care of business and AFC East champions.
But what they won't get next year is a last place schedule. And they benefited from a true last place schedule
and the
this
Titans
year.
did not. Titans have the second hardest strength of schedule in the NFL behind the Cardinals this year.
I'm watching the 2026 Patriots moving forward. And I'm also seeing, again, a Tennessee Titans team that's going to have a 4th place schedule. How they take advantage of it moving forward. Are they better than the 4th place teams that they'll play next year?
Yeah.
And that to that point, like, that has allowed Drake May become an MVP candidate.
For sure. He was terrific yesterday.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so there is that the league does allow, because they don't want any one team to be bad forever, like the Cleveland Browns, even though they beat Pittsburgh.
It's a sore subject for you yesterday, isn't it?
They didn't give up the sack record, though.
That's true.
So there's a dub there, man.
That's true.
But my point of it is this, though. You can win through rebuilding that gives you confidence to move forward. And I also believe this for Cam Ward and everybody else that's on that line, or J.C. Latham, Chimray, Ellick, Gunner. Like, it gives those guys confidence through winning with what the league is going to present them next year. But to that point, though, Will, I don't think you can say don't neuter Cam, when here's the thing. Cam is in the same litter as a whole lot of puppies still. I think it's even still new for JC. I think Peter's still figuring it out. And if you go get a new center on top of a new running back, like, there's so much newness to it that you kind of almost have to bring them in and give them structure.
For sure. Kent hits us up on YouTube. It says, Jeremiah Love greater than Breece Hall. I don't think Ramon the Titans are in the position to draft a first-round running back.
What did we say about if you do get him? The sweet spot for the Titans drafting, in my personal opinion, is 12 to 15. If you tell me that Jeremiah
Love, pick up
Love,
another second-round pick,
if you get Jeremiah Love at 11 and back, if they move out of the top 10,
sure,
take that one.
I wouldn't even do that. There are too many things the Titans need that you could only find in the first round or second round that they need to prioritize. And I'm talking about 3 positions. You take any of these 3 in the first 2 rounds, I'm happy. Wide receiver, corner, edge rusher.
Wide receiver, corner, edge rusher.
And it would be in that order. Wide receiver is your top priority. Corners 1B. Edge rusher is 2.
I almost feel
behind
like
1A and 1B.
The way they're projecting this class, that's kind of how it falls.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, you are in the position to sign a running back because you got a lot of cap space.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any team out there that can prioritize signing a running back and paying a running back, it is a team with a lot of cap space and a rookie contract quarterback. And you have both. I think Breece Hall makes a ton of sense. Especially with him, Ramon, as a pass catcher and what he can give you in those underneath routes. Again, you're talking about a route tree and angle route, out route, choice routes that can make Cam Ward's decisions really easy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be the perfect fit for this offense.
I see somebody says, go steal Travis Etienne from Jacksonville. Last time you stole a player from Jacksonville, it ain't netted the best return on it.
Talking about Calvin Ridley?
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Travis Etienne's listed at 5'10", 215. The thing about Breece Hall, he's listed at 5'11", 217.
He's a receiver.
He's probably closer to 220.
He's going to cost you money, but
might cost you.
We got plenty. Come on back here.
Oh, dude.
Back up that Brinks truck.
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option?
Breece Hall?
Etienne. No, Breece Hall was a second rounder.
Yeah, no, Etienne's a free agent this offseason.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay. But Etienne to me is Tajay.
Well, in that case, then Tony Pollard would still need to be here. Because then if you're talking about Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne, Tajay Spears, now we got a pretty good running back room by committee. Like, again, I'm okay with either of these two.
True.
Either you go get Breece Hall And Tony Pollard probably moves on at that point. You have Tajay. Maybe you draft another one. Maybe you feel good about Khalil Mullings, Julius Chestnut, whoever else is here. Because you'd have a legit number one. And not to say Tony Pollard isn't a legit one. Breece Hall's kind of in his own category when he's healthy. And he's right.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think he's, top 5, top 10 running back in the league when he's healthy?
Easily. Most definitely.
I think so.
For a team that he held his own with them.
Yeah, for sure.
With an offensive line that was sketchy at best, too.
Speaking of the Jags, they squeaked one out against Phil Rivers last night.
Oh, Phil.
23-17 for Jacksonville. Parker Washington is becoming a dude at wide receiver. A week removed from a career-high 145 receiving yards and a score over Denver. He was amazing again yesterday against Indy. 8 catches, team high, 115 yards. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a passing touchdown, but he ran it in twice.
Of course.
He is, with 2 rushing scores, Ramon, the 4th player in NFL history to have 25-plus passing touchdowns and 9-plus rushing touchdowns in a single season, joining Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and Cam Newton. Are we taking the Jags seriously now as a contender, or are we still wait and see on them?
I think you have to, especially if Trevor's playing this way. And Parker Washington, we're not even really bringing up Brian Thomas Jr. at this point, man, with his
we're not.
ability to make
We're talking more about Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington,
who just got extended too. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out with Brian Thomas Jr. being the first rounder and everything that's included in that one too. But yes, the Jaguars have to be taken serious. Liam Cohen is a guy that knows how to call it. His defense is solid as any defense is in the league. They could be a team. I don't know if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, but I could see them getting to the second round of the playoffs most definitely.
It's going to be crazy when Malik Willis leads the Indianapolis Colts into Nashville next season.
Or Pittsburgh.
Lucas mentioned that offhand. I don't want to steal their thunder if they're going to talk about that on the next show. But as good as Malik Willis looked and as much of a market as he's going to have as a pending free agent, after playing the way that he did for the Green Bay Packers on Saturday night, 18 of 21, 288 and a touchdown. Him and that RPO-based system, Ramon, that Shane Steichen runs as a runner. I mean, a lot of what they would run with him if he was in Indy, Matt LaFleur's running for him now in Green Bay, would make a ton of sense.
Can we just say
as
this
a bridge to get Daniel Jones back healthy?
Tennessee Titans fans, front office, former coaches, you didn't have this grace.
Nah, just let it go. You just got to let Malik go, man. That one didn't go your way. He showed you a little bit of flashes in that training camp. There was no indication he was ever going to turn into this year.
And you just didn't have the time. Can we just, that part of it? We're speaking about,
you didn't have the ability to sit around and wait for him to become this. No.
And he's sat and he's got numerous reps in training camp.
Be happy for him and move on. I don't think the Titans totally mismanaged
You
that.
never had the time to see this person show up.
No.
Never.
No. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I think he's benefited from a change of scenery. And again, we've talked about this so many times. Sometimes the change of scenery is a critical step in a player improving. Sometimes you have to go somewhere else and learn from a different perspective. I don't think this version of Malik Willis would have been a Tennessee Titan.
It would have been too much losing. The team wasn't there for it. And no.
It's not taking anything away from Malik.
No, this is a kudos to Malik.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. He made the most of a new opportunity, but a critical part in that process is the new opportunity.
Yep.
100%.
And again, time.
Yeah. Yeah. 615-737-1045 is our number. More Week 17 reaction on the way out. And look ahead to 4 teams battling for 2 division champion set of hats, including one that you used to represent. Coming up next. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show. Patriots 42, Jets 10. The Pats win the AFC East. Drake May, first player in NFL history to complete 90% of his passes while throwing for 250 yards and 5 touchdowns in a single game. Tonight, over to you, Matthew Stafford. Rams at Falcons on Monday Night Football.
Kirk Cousins starting this one too? Yeah, he is.
Believe so.
That's going to be a good one. I know a lot of fantasy owners are probably looking at this game.
Yeah,
too
championship weekend around fantasy football.
Weekend. I kind of want to watch Matthew Stafford duel a little bit tonight, though. Just being real,
Sure.
Watching him is fun. He looks like a consummate pro out there. He's using his legs when he has to at times. And just, again, the way they've kind of set themselves up to be, the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah.
Again.
Right.
Kudos for how the Rams are doing stuff. Now, I know they got a lot of money that they use to spend, and they got a future Hall of Fame quarterback that's doing the do, too. So that's a fun team to watch right now.
The 3 best teams in the NFC might all be in the same division. Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
That's cooking.
Eagles would have something to say about that, as would the Bears, despite the loss last night.
That's a lot of stress, boy.
Sure is. So in Week 18, the Panthers will go to Tampa, winner in, loser out, and the Ravens will go to Pittsburgh. NFC South, AFC North, the 2 final divisions that are up for grabs, with the Patriots clinching the East. Of course, the AFC South is up for grabs as well, although both of the teams that are vying for it will be in the postseason. Of course, we're talking about Titans at Jags, the front runner, Colts at Texans in Week 18 as well. Riley Leonard is expected to start for Indy, by the way, in that game, with them out of contention.
That's right.
And Phillip Rivers' service is no longer needed.
What
he can
a heck
go
of a ride.
take care of his 15 kids again. The Jags could also still be the 1 seed. They're playing for that in Jacksonville this weekend against the Titans. Jacksonville would have to beat the Titans, Denver would have to lose to the Chargers, and the Patriots would have to lose to the Dolphins.
And all that could happen.
Maybe.
Because New England could choose to sit their guys.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
And Denver with LA, that's a good Chargers team.
Yeah, sure is.
Bills would go to New England at the moment in the 2 versus 7 matchup in the AFC. Man, can you imagine the takes on X.com, as it's called now? If the Bills upset the Patriots in the first round of the playoffs, we'd be having the same conversations about New England as we were in 2021 about the Titans. Oh, it's the worst 1 seed ever, worst 2 seed ever. They were frauds. They were never good. Guys, let's just do it now. The Patriots are a good team.
They're a good team.
Patriots are a really good team. If they lose to Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs, it's not because they were always frauds and finally got exposed. Maybe, I don't know, the Bills could just be really good too. And on one given Sunday, the takes are just exhausting.
But
about the New England Patriots. They are a good football team to me.
I most definitely have given them credit. But everybody, if they do lose in the first round, we brought this up, is going to bring up they had the weakest schedule. Let me tell y'all something, too. New England has had the weakest schedule through 2 dynasties. Do you understand me? The AFC East has been a bit of a cakewalk. The best thing they got going right now for the AFC East is that Josh Allen is also a part of it, too. The East has always been a cakewalk. If Josh Allen doesn't figure it out, this will continually be a Patriots-dominated division. That's just kind of how it always has been. It's probably the most, since the 72 Dolphins, the least competitive division in football, if I can be honest with you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Tell me I'm lying.
Week 18 will be fun, especially for those of us that don't have a dog in the hunt.
No, it won't.
In the 2 winner-take-all games.
It will not be.
I'd obviously rather be in your shoes. If we were trading, obviously, I'd rather have still a chance in Week 18.
You
but
got a point.
There's a lot more than just a Week 18 in division riding on Ravens Steelers. That's a game worth like years of bragging rights.
Mike Tomlin is going to do his thing.
You're hurt by this.
Because it should have been wrapped up by now.
It should have been, yeah.
You had 2 weeks to wrap it up.
Shadir Sanders had something to say about it.
And then the Harold Fannin Jr., Burt's love crush in the draft, goes up and catches a football. And what about the guy going in with the shoulder to bring him down to the ground? Like, you had every opportunity to combat play that ball, defend 1 yard at the line of scrimmage. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, really? This is how you choose to live like life in Pittsburgh with this one. Like Bert Walsh and I have already shaken hands. We've already shook hands. We've acknowledged one another.
You only have to be in the building for one more day together.
Right
since
now,
you're out on Wednesday.
There's been no malice between us.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like betting Jimmy Seafood again. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at.
Just tweet him, hey, big head.
Want to do that old thing? I don't even know what to say at this point about this one, man.
Back at it bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow on a Tennessee game day.
Yay.
We'll preview the Music City Bowl tomorrow with Ramon, with Austin Price, with myself, and look forward to the final Tennessee football game of 2025. Just like that. Snap a finger. Season comes to an end. More on the Titans, of course, as well. More of the NFL weekend as your Reaction Monday continues next on 104.5 The Zone.
Your Twitter fingers.
You're hurt by this.
And your mic and your football just fan.
And the AFC North
is always hot, I guess. Peace.